All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good evening, good evening. Mr. Scotty Mac, of course, here in the house. I don't know how many of you are here. Oh, all right. All right. So we are just a few minutes. Tom is on his way. He is not quite in yet. What we've got here, of course, just for shits and giggles, we've got like crazy. I don't know where I'm at with volume balance either. Music's too high, too not enough. I think that's probably fine. This is basically the settings that we had when Jerry was on. I may have to drop it down depending on how good Tom's microphone is. Anyways, Tom Martell will be joining us shortly. But I thought in the meantime, since Jackie's here anyway, that I would go through some of what we've been doing. I guess this is just... That's not correct anymore. But, so this is the Nia Walker's deck that I've been screwing around with. Made a couple changes, and I feel like for the most part they're for the better. I've been trying out Fleecemane Lion over the Voice of Resurgence. It's actually been like super good, because being able to like turn the aggressive corner in the mid-range mirrors and against devotion strategies where you have this 3/3 that eventually like late game is just this indestructible, immovable object is like super good. So that's been really, really good. We have voices. I was trying voices for a while, and that's also potentially very good, but it depends on how aggressive you want to make the deck, because like having Fleecemane Lion means that you're probably attacking a lot more. So I was playing a 1 of Aurelia's Fury, and I thought it was very cute. Turns out it's actually not that excellent in practical application, so we cut it, which is fine. I realized that after I read the card that it actually doesn't prevent you from casting prevent you from casting creature spells, which makes it like way worse in the meta. So I thought it would be great as just a pseudo silence, but it's really just not there. So I kind of wanted an answer to potentially opposing planeswalkers and stuff, and just random, stuff that was too big for Mizzy Mortars. So I just kind of like jammed the one Banishing Light in the slot, and I feel like it's going to be okay. The other option is, of course, like Xenagos is one of the best cards in the deck. So we could play, the fourth one here over that, which is also perfectly serviceable. Depending on which way the meta goes, Evil Beard. Depending on which way the meta goes, it may also be correct just to like not play Chandra and instead play, the 4 Xenagos, or maybe like the extra Polychronos is not necessary. I don't know, but could also be right to shave at Nissa. But like Nissa's also been like super, super good. So, anyways, this is the standard deck that I've been dicking around with. I added the 4th Temple because we wanted the white mana a little bit earlier, so for Fleecemane Lion and such. So I ended up just playing the 4th Temple and cutting and like adding another forest so that we could more reliably get our Mystic on one. I was playing 5 basics before, and so we will go. Thank you, Fitch. Anyway, so this is what I've been jamming, and it's been like a whole hell of a lot of fun. This thing is like super aggressive, and I didn't think it would be that good, but like between Scavenging Ooze and Lions and like Coursers and stuff, you've kind of got like the early stuff, which is nice. Nice. Alright, so we're going to call Tom Martell in like 2 seconds here since I talked about this. But anyway, so we've got like Polychronos Battle, the mono blue menace, which is good. It stops like burn decks and stuff, it's pretty good. And like a Johnny Mentor of Heroes makes this deck tick. Like, that's why we can get away and with shaving some of these numbers and not having to play like 4 of these and 4 of these. It may even be correct to just shave a Nissa and play the 4th Xenagos. That may actually end up being right. But like, he's so good in this deck. I was beating down with some dumb stuff. You like have Xenagos and Johnny, like spitting out 5/5s with haste. You've got like Nissa and a Johnny, and you're spitting out like 7/7s with trample. It's just dumb. Elspeth, of course, is look really, really good. And then the sideboard, you kind of like shore up some of those bad matchups. You want some better removal. Chain of the Rocks is sort of the nod here because it is an aura. So Chain of the Rocks, yeah, Nissa is 60 guys. But like, because it's an aura, you can search it up with a Johnny, which is like sweet in the mono black matchup, which makes it like even more relevant. Plus it comes down early, and it's just like a no question answer to a lot of the stuff that we've got going on. So Banishing Light was a good one. Post board, we kind of get like against the where like John Monsters has to bring in like infinite removal, we have the capacity to just like bring in, like go under it. About 420, I think was about 420. I think is where I was at with it. But like, you can turn into this deck where like a Johnny Steadfast basically comes in for most of this top end stuff, and he, in conjunction with cards like Fleece Mane Lion, Courser of Crufix, and Loxodon Smiter, make it almost impossible for your opponent to ever win. I'll have an article about that actually going up this week, Minfer, so you can check that out. I'll tell you what's up with guys. But like, this deck has been so much fun to play. I'm just beside myself at how ridiculous it is, and so it's just fun. So I got it, and I'll play this at some point. Maybe we'll play it in between rounds, we'll see. But like, I'm gonna kind of tinker around with this for a little bit. A lot of these cards are still legal post rotation. The exception, of course, being like the mana base, which is really good, and then like oozes, mortars, and Selesnya Charm. That's like it. So, anyways, we're gonna call Tom and get that going, and then we're gonna get into some vintage masters for us tonight.
What's going on?
Tom Martell. Holy shit, sir.
How's it going?
Fantastic, man. Yourself?
Doing great.
Awesome. We know you were running a little behind, so I decided I was going to fire up, and I'm talking about this terrible standard deck that I'm running in for shits and giggles right now.
All right.
So, do you have any video you can share with us by chance?
Do I have video I can share? Yes. I got a cam.
Mm-hmm. That'd be great. Oh, there you are. Okay. Now I just need to make sure that you fit. Oh my gosh, there you are. Tom Martell, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, everybody.
Everybody. I'll put that back on. So tonight we're going to talk Vintage Masters. It is a format that, as we all know, has been announced as part of the MTGO Community Cup, and it is not a format that I'm remotely versed in. I mean, I obviously looked at the spoilers. Everybody was writing articles and stuff. So, you know, like I read your article on archetypes. So I have like a vague understanding of what's going on. I actually, I may or may not have had one pseudo Vintage Masters draft. I won't get into the details, but, you know, like I have some idea of what a bunch of the cards do. Like, I know that the Storm deck is really good, but it's hard to get. And I know that the Spirit card that makes guys is really good, and you got Battle Cries in common. So there's a Goblins deck, like so talk to us about Vintage Masters. Like, what is it? What should we be looking for? Like, give us a baseline quick line entry, and then we'll dive into a draft.
Yeah, it sounds good. So I think it's certainly very archetype driven. Some formats are about just drafting sweet cards and then kind of dirtling along, and ideally in Vintage Masters you really want to be drafting a deck. One of the ones that's supported. So the main archetypes, you mentioned Storm. Another one is like the cycling deck, which can be supported either by Astral Slide or Lightning Rift or both. There's the green-white aggro decks with like a bunch of enchantments. That's a common archetype. Just mono-white aggro, shadow creatures, flyers, and then Battle Screech. Battle Screech being that kind of the Lingering Souls variant that you mentioned. That's super powerful. Red has Goblins, which can be good. I have had very little success drafting it myself, but it certainly is a supported archetype. I'm definitely forgetting a few. I mean, there's just like blue-white control, although the control deck tends to merge into the Astral Slide Rift decks.
Sure. But
occasionally you can get a control deck that isn't that, which just basically means you drafted a Rift deck or a Slide deck but didn't open any slides.
Okay.
Or didn't get past the slide is usually how that manifests.
Yep.
It still can certainly win because some of the cards are just very powerful. But that's that kind of archetype.
Madness?
There's Madness. So yeah, sorry, of course, Blue-Green Madness is a huge part of it. That, I think, was the best deck early on because it was the most obvious what you wanted to do, and there was less competition. And now I think it's, in the drafts that I've done more recently, it's been harder to get a good Madness deck. But it's certainly still a powerful archetype. And then Black-Green Graveyard, and that can revolve around, certainly some rares are critical there. If you get either Living Death or Recurring Nightmare, both those are just broken. Survival of the Fittest 2 can combo those in really, really broken fashion. But that deck takes advantage of cards like the Land Cyclers that fill up its graveyard quickly, and then can get those things going.
Yep.
One second, I just got a pop up from. So I think that deck is certainly something as well. And then there is Mono Black Aggro, which I've definitely lost to at times, but I think it's not as powerful as the other archetypes that we're discussing.
Yeah.
It's creatures. So the problem with the aggro decks that aren't green is wild models are so good against you because you can't attack through it. You have to go around it somehow. So black has some shadow guys and like a 2/2 flyer for 2 that can let you do that, but you're not going to win a race with those cards against Mongrel into Arrogant Worm, for instance, will just always beat you.
Yep.
Or like Mongrel into Elephant Guide. So it's just hard to win the races against the Mongrel decks with the other aggressive decks.
Okay. This channel is legit. That's right. Okay, so that's a fairly wide amount of archetypes, and I mean it's very clear that you've got sort of like some on all ends of the spectrum, right? I mean you've got the slower grinding control decks with you've even got the combo deck and Storm, and I mean we've got some like hyper aggressive decks, and then we kind of like come back to the middle with the Graveyard and Madness stuff, right?
Yes, exactly. I think that's a pretty good kind of summary of the range of things you can be doing.
Okay, awesome. So as far as sort of like the arbitrarily most powerful thing that you can do in the possible scope of the draft, what is it?
It's probably like Storm if you get to build your deck out of the legal cards.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you can get a Storm deck that just busted. I think Storm is also the highest variance and the hardest to make work because a bad Storm deck will just never win. It's unclear to me, what the key cards actually are. So I think it actually might secretly be like the best Storm decks are High Tide decks.
Okay.
In my experience, those are the ones that I won most consistently with. And then the win condition you want is you really want Brain Freeze, not Tendrils.
Okay.
Because Brain Freeze you can get back with Scrivener, and you cannot do that with Tendrils, which actually ends up being a big problem. So you can kind of combo kill them just by making a little bit of mana with, like, say, a High Tide and a Turnabout, or a High Tide and like a Frantic Search or 2, and then you just go like Brain Freeze, Scrivener, Brain Freeze, and can win with not needing to have as many cards as you need to try to win with the Tendrils.
Okay. Awesome. And arbitrarily the worst deck to be in is like Mono Black Aggro or some mishmash of a bad Storm deck?
It's probably Mono Black Aggro.
Yeah.
It's probably the worst deck. I would have as my guess.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So let's get this in then. Where are we here? Yes, play lobby. So we are disadvantaged in that there is a Vintage Masters Limited Championship qualifier that is occurring.
Oh, it's a sealed deck tournament?
In 4 minutes. It's a sealed deck tournament. It's like it's a big drop. The payout's reasonable, I guess.
I keep meaning to play one of those, and I keep forgetting to join them. At some point, I will. I'm gonna try to get one of those in.
So I guess let's take a look what we got here. 2 needed for the 8/4. Which just tends to be the better value, the 8/4 or the Swiss, or does it end up being the same?
I think the 8/4 is better value. The Swiss means you get to play more rounds if your deck's sweet, but like you can always draft again. So I would 8/4.
Okay. Then let us 8/4. All right, so I don't know any of these people, which is fine. Wow, it just fired right away.
Off we go. So obviously you're hoping to open power. That's the best case scenario here.
Well, we did not open power. We've got a few options here. Click Slither is the rare. So if we are going goblins, I feel like this is probably pretty powerful, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a good card. That card and Dark Hatchling are both quite good. I think by far the best two cards in this pack are going to be the Mana War and the Battle Screech. I actually think those are the two best commons in the set, in my opinion. They lead to definitely different decks. Battle Screech is the best common, but you're going to end up playing white aggro. If you get multiple copies of Battle Screech, you can have draws that are just unbeatable by any deck in the format. The format doesn't have enough answers to Battle Screech in it.
Okay.
So when you get going, you run with the game. Mana War leads to drafting this control deck that I was describing, the slide deck, which is my favorite deck personally. And Mana War is probably the best card for that deck. So I think both of these are very reasonable picks. Probably the conventional pick is Battle Screecher.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, so I mean, and the Hatchling stood out, the Mana War stood out, the Rare stood out. We saw that there was some fixing in there. There was a Root Walla for the Madness deck.
Yep. I mean, probably the next couple cards are going to get taken. My guess is are going to be the Manowar, the Kindle, the Dark Hatchling, the Click Slither, and the Rootwalla. Those five are
This
probably
is
the
the
next five best cards.
second Fisher too.
Fisher, I think, is not very good. I think it's actually not a card you actually want to be playing if you can avoid it.
Okay.
This is an interesting choice here. If had we taken Manowar first, I'd just be slamming this Terra's Faithful, and
Yeah.
we'd be in a great spot for the kind of the blue-white deck. But here, Benevolent Bodyguard goes into the green-white enchantment deck. Strip Mine is just is a powerful card, and aggro decks can certainly tend to support that. I haven't actually really played with it much because again I tend to be drafting these control decks that don't want it, but I think your Battle Screech deck will typically want Strip Mine.
Okay.
And Benevolent Bodyguard I think is probably more replaceable, so I would take Strip Mine here.
Okay. That's fine.
Next best cards are going to be Faithful, Croats and Tusker's great, Kina Aven is solid, the Uncommons are all terrible, Lurking Evil is unplayable, Every Tower is unplayable, so Cycling Land is probably up there, but Black's the worst of the Cycling Lands because it doesn't go into the slide decks.
Okay. So if we are in white aggro, there's a Shadow Guy, which is fairly good, right?
Yep.
And otherwise, like Mike Flores' champion card, right?
Yeah, the Quatch Champion is a great card, but doesn't really go with what we already have.
Yeah.
It's both expensive, so Strip Mine is not great with it, and it's black, so it's not going to go with the Battle Screech deck. This is probably just Soltari Trooper. If again, it's for the purposes of learning the format, it's useful to kind of think what keep going down that thought experiment. Had we taken Manowar, then we took Soltari, then took Tauros Faithful, probably be taking this Repel here, or maybe this Chain Lightning, one of those two. If we somehow, if we'd taken Click Slither first, we'd be probably taking Fire Blast here and trying to draft this red aggro deck. But for what we're doing, I think it's easy. This is this Soltari Trooper.
Okay. All right, so I feel like here, like Exile being the only white card in the pack is pretty good. It does kind of let us deal with basically nearly anything.
But so we're getting really cut here.
Yeah.
Right? That we're not seeing white creatures, which is what you want for this Battle Screech deck. So we should start thinking about where can we potentially pivot? How do we hedge ourselves?
Okay. So that being said, we've got. This is the second Manowar we would pass. Chances are it's not going to wheel, but what is half these rares I haven't even seen?
Yeah, the rare's not very good. Here, it's definitely taking one of Karavak's Torch, Exile, Frantic Search, or Manowar. Those are the four playables in this pack, or the four best cards in this pack.
Okay.
I would take Manowar or Torch, either one. And they both keep different things available to us. Torch is great as a splash in the white aggro deck if it actually comes back together, but I'm pretty skeptical it's going to. Whereas Manowar lets us slide into kind of blue-white control.
Sure.
Battle Screech should still be fine in that deck, although not great. So it's possibly. So go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. So we're down to 30 here, right? So
yep.
do we want to try to look at shifting here? Trapper seems like it could be fine in the control deck or the aggro deck.
Yep.
And it's still
I like Trapper here. It's good in both decks.
Okay. Now, otherwise, if we're looking to move, you'd be looking at something like. This is really good for the Madness deck. We've got some Goblin stuff here that seems fairly open.
Frantic Search is just good in general in this format. There's a lot of cards that combo with it. So I would take Trapper here. I think even if I was blue-white, so we were down that kind of chain. Mm-hmm. But I think the next best card for that deck is either Counterspell or Frantic Search after Trapper.
Okay.
So by taking Trapper, we get to take a card that works in both, and we can kind of keep our options open. And Manowar too. Manowar is going to be. Oh, weird! It didn't select the we got Brainstorm there instead of Trapper.
How the hell did that work? I take reserve and everything. Ridiculous. Super. We got a Brainstorm.
Okay, well,
temporary
setback. Temporary setback. Here, I think we probably just wanted to take Deathblade Elite. I would think over Vapors and Ophidian.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to draft this white deck. So Manowar's still perfectly good in the white deck as a splash card. Obviously, we wish we had the Trapper, but not a huge. Ooh, now we're getting a Gustclaw Carrier. So maybe white is open. And the real goal here is to curve out evasive creatures, and then Battle Screech, kill them.
Okay. There's the Faithful back.
That's actually a different Faithful.
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course.
But I would actually take Radiant's Judgment here.
Okay.
So Reprisal is a very good effect against cards like Arrogant Worm and Wild
Yeah,
Mongrel.
but it has
Uh,
cycling as a bonus
it
in
has
the
cycling.
event that it's garbage. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
There's another elite.
Yep, let's take another lead here. Curve's very important in this deck, so we want to get the creatures there. We'll pick up some enchantments later if we want to, like that whatever the one was just in that pack. But
Sure.
here you can take a card kind of at random. Should take Temporal Fissure.
Okay.
Hate something from the Storm deck since we passed so many Frantic Searches. And now free Brilliant Halo. So if you go turn 1 Deathblade Elite, turn 2 Brilliant Halo, you can lock out some of the creature decks.
Sure.
So it's nice to have that the option for that interaction.
Yep. Okay. Provoke is not a mechanic I've had a lot of experience with over the years.
It is. It's pretty unfair when they're trying to do creature stuff.
Nice. And the built-in fog ability seems pretty sweet. Reusability on the Halo. It's nice. I was around.
Yeah, so you get spots where if you have multiple creatures out and they just have one blocker, you can attack with the elite, force it to block it, and then just fog, and then repeat that every turn.
Okay.
And you can really quickly kind of paralyze them.
Carnophage, Charge, Tyrant's Choice, or Wall of Diffusion.
I would just take charge probably.
Okay.
We're not gonna have a problem beating Carnophage decks for the most part, and Seal Cleansing for a sideboard. So I think pack 1 went pretty well actually. I mean, I was a little nerve-wracking there in the middle where it looked like White was getting cut, but then we managed to pick up 4 or 5 playable White cards after that.
Okay.
Obviously, wish we had the Trapper, but it's not a huge setback.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look over that Brainstorm, and that deck would look really good at that point. You just want to hate this Fissure again?
Yeah, Giant Strike's not really a card in this format.
Oh, we get the Putrid Imp. All right, so we don't want any of this.
And I'd move the Seal Cleansing over as well. That card's not going to be main deck in here. So yeah, I mean that's 8 playables in the first pack with the Strip Mine on top of that. So that's great. We just need to get if we can keep that kind of pacing up and hopefully 2 more Battle Creatures, let's say, and then any White creature becomes great in our deck.
Okay.
And it makes the cards like Deathblade Elite perfectly serviceable.
All right, so here we get Radiant Archangel, and another Gust Cloak Harrier as our options. Gamble is not a card that I think we need to worry about.
Yeah, I think this is definitely just an Archangel here.
It's a nice bomb for the deck.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's a good late game flyer, and with Battle Screech,
Yeah.
card gets real big.
Okay. And Vigilance too. That's sweet.
Yeah, Archangel's great.
Okay.
And then we have Radiant, and we have Radiant's Judgment. So we have a little theme going on here.
You didn't, of course, jump into this draft with a hide secret account here, right? To make it fun.
I did not. No, I am fully focused.
So I feel like there's a lot for Storm here. Like the High Tide's really good. There's the Scrivener. So what's missing out of this pack, I guess, becomes a question. Like Miss Moon Griffin is, I think, pretty much our pick here.
Yeah, it's the only card we want to be playing in our deck. There's a common missing, so maybe the guy took a Battle Screech from us. No, sorry, there's an uncommon missing. So not a lot to be gained there. Miss Moon Griffin's a solid, playable, nothing to get excited about, but it's actually great against the Madness decks. Because a lot of times you're just trying to erase them with your Shadow Guy or your 1 flyer, and Griffin gives you 2 chump blockers because you block it, get back something, and block again.
Okay.
The next turn, so it makes it hard for them to kill you with Wild Mongrel.
Okay. So I know this Mana War is still a question, but I'll leave it in for now.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, we can always just play 4 or 5 islands, and it's powerful enough to be worth splashing, especially when one of the major decks is the enchantment deck. It's so good against them.
So, I think Trooper's clearly the pick here, right? But I mean, Blessing also could be potentially really good for us.
Yeah, I don't like Blessing very much in this format just because you don't get in ground stalls, so your creatures already have invasion.
Okay.
And so if you're already evasive, you don't need to. The main purpose of blessing, since it's so expensive, it doesn't work well as a trick to like counter removal spell. Instead, you really want to be able to cast and attack with everybody, which we can generally speaking, just be able to attack with everybody.
Okay. Aquamoeba is good for madness. I mean, fires is always good.
Yeah, Akabiba is not as good as you remember it being because damage doesn't stack anymore, so it no longer just
Uh,
hits two twos.
okay.
It just bounces or trades at two twos, which makes it a lot worse
Okay.
than it used to be.
Fledgling Jin is alright for that mono black aggro list.
Yep, it's definitely a fine card, but yeah, we definitely just want to
Yeah.
get this trooper here. Hopefully, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Good.
We got it that time. Alright.
Didn't sabotage us.
So here, okay, so we've got Phantom Nomad, which is again another guy for our curve. Fairly resilient as far as creatures go. This
Great enchantment on him.
What's that?
If you put an enchantment on him, he can't die. So, because based on his wording here, it prevents the damage and then removes the counter. The prevention is not contingent on the counter getting removed. So if he has no counters on him, he just, but still is in play because he's +1/+2 from Brilliant Halo. He just survives forever.
So that makes him ridiculous.
He's sweet. I mean, he is small enough that at that point that you can usually just ignore him.
Okay.
But it is certainly still value at blocking. If we weren't already thinking about splashing blue, we could consider taking Death Grasp here. Death Grasp is a very powerful card, but I think we just want to take the on curve 2-drop.
Okay.
Looking at the pack, the other card that's just worth noting is Death Head Buzzard.
Yeah.
And it's only a card in the format because it's so good against Battle Screech.
Okay.
Ooh, how nice of them to give us a foil rare.
That's nice, right?
Yeah, definitely taking that card. It's great.
I mean, like, I have cast more than my share of Karmic Guides, I can tell you.
Actually, I just noticed there's also worth considering is Suchi.
Yeah.
4/4/4 is very big for this format. As you notice, our guys are all like 2/2 flyers for 4.
Yep.
So Suchi is worth considering here, but I would take Karmic Guide.
Okay. That's another Harrier.
Another Harrier. Yep, I think we're just gonna go ahead and pick that up. Gilded Light is a nice sideboard card because it is so good against the Storm deck.
Sure.
But you want to take again. You want to make your curve smooth out first, and then you can worry about picking up some of the more powerful sideboard cards.
Okay. So now we've got nothing here. I mean, if we're looking at blue, Repel's pretty good. We have 2 Death's Head Buzzards in here.
Yeah, but the odds that 2 people are going to want them aren't very high, so cutting one doesn't do much. Just one of them will probably ever see play. It's actually worth considering Elephant Guide here. I think
Just because of it being an aura, we could potentially we've got the elites and the
elites, the troopers.
and
It's
then
just
Nomad?
it's a big impact.
Okay.
And I think we wouldn't really want to play this Repel most likely. So I'd rather take the Elephant Guide, and then if Impact 3 you open a great green card, we can go green. If we open a good blue card, we can go blue. Otherwise, we can kind of sit in the middle.
So there's the Trapper that we missed the first time.
Yep.
I
would just take the Trapper here. I like Judgment in this format, but 2-drops are so important, and Trapper holds value late game, so it's pretty nice.
Afterlife?
I really don't like Afterlife because it leaves behind a blocker.
Sure, that
that flies, so you can trade with the Battle Screech token or just chump a flyer. Here I might just take Choking Tethers actually, or Ophidian, but I think I'm more inclined to take the Tethers. It's good against us, and we might even it cycles, so it's not a disaster if we end up playing it.
Okay.
And if you ever cast it, tapping 4 things can be huge. It can swing the whole combat.
Okay. I mean, we could potentially hate draft the High Tide here. I don't really see anything else that we want. Like Owl Familiar, maybe?
We're never playing Alpha Familiar. It's either going to be hate drafting the High Tide or hate drafting the Forgotten Cave, and I would just hate draft the High Tide.
Yeah.
And now we can just pick up a Lonely Sandbar, probably. Yeah, we're never playing those green cards, even if we do end up being green.
Okay.
So I would just take the Lonely Sandbar. And here, you can just hate the Death Head Buzzard. We do only have 1 Karmic Guide, but we might get more. And here, I'm indifferent between the 2 cycling cards. You can just take the Renewed Faith since we're actually could potentially board it in, I guess. But the odds of that are low.
That's another seal.
Yeah, just pick up another seal just in case we play against like Astral Slide. So say after 2 bags, our deck looks pretty good. We do only have the 1 copy of Battle Screech, so we would love to see another one of those. But outside of that, our deck is great. A good curve, some aggressive creatures.
Ding!
And here we go. We opened the Mythic Common Battle Screech.
Now, the good news is there's also a lot there's a lot else in here, right? So
yeah, so we could get something back from this pack potentially. That Mist Moon Griffin could certainly table.
yeah. which might be very good for us. And I mean, even if it's an exile coming back, that would also be okay.
Sure. I mean, Exile, I mean, probably wouldn't main deck it, but it's a good sideboard card to have access to.
Yeah.
The real problem with Exile in this format is that the white deck, as you can see, obviously does nothing against that deck because you're going to be basically mono white. And then it actually doesn't kill Wild Mongrel, which is such a big problem.
Oh.
It's awkward this format that has multiple common removal spells, and none of them kill Wild Mongrel. Because you can change color to become black for Expunge, or become white for Exile.
Right.
And then he can grow too big to get Chain Lightning. So there's just no common way to really deal with him efficiently.
Okay. I mean, this might not be too bad if it comes back either. Floodplain is fine. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Battle Screech. Good. Lucky. So lucky. I have a huge hard-on for this card, but I know that this is not the deck for this card.
Not the deck. If we got in the other direction and we tried to draft that blue-white control deck, we would love to have Thawing Glaciers.
Yeah.
But here, I mean, there's Sultai Troopers are so good for us.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's particularly close.
The 2-power 2-drop that you can just never worry about, you know it's going to attack every turn of the game. And then maybe you can pick up some pants and speed up your clock is nice.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this is looking pretty good so far.
Absolutely. No, this deck is looking great.
Oh, look, a Griffin. Now, that said, we did talk about looking for some pants and splashing green. Like, Armadillo Cloak is a really good reason to be looking at that, isn't it?
I actually think I would take Armadillo Cloak here. I think Miss Moon Griffin's replaceable. It's, we have
a lot up there already on curve.
Yeah, and it's like worse than Gustful Carrier. It's worse than Sultari Trooper. We have plenty of other creatures that are more powerful, and we have a lot of guys that can wear the pants well. So I would definitely take Armadillo Cloak here and just hide our blue cards.
Sure. All right.
Interesting pick here. So Imperial Armor. Interesting.
So like, I guess we kind of have to like figure out where we're at with regards to like, so for curve, right? Because like Imperial Armor, how often is this going to be really good with us with a pile of cards in our hand versus like this is another guy that we know is going to wear pants really well, but this is another pair of pants. So like, which?
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards it. Also, it's worth considering just to mention is Elvish Aberration. As someone in the chat pointed out, it gets our green mana and can come back from Miss Moon Griffin. Certainly not taking it here. The other white cards are too powerful. But if it was a free aberration, you would love to pick that up. Okay. Here, I'm going to take Phantom Nomad, I think, over Imperial Armor. Our deck's trying to go wide, not tall. So we're not like a classic enchantment deck where we're just going to play one guy and suit him up a bunch. We don't have like the Benevolent Bodyguards to protect the creature.
Okay.
So I don't want to commit that much on one guy. Okay. So I'd rather just take the Wild Mongrel and we can just play him here. We can just go 10-7 without much cost and just get to add that great aggressive creature.
So here we have a Trapper, or we have the Templar. I mean, I wouldn't consider the Templar if we hadn't picked up the Karmic Guide or the Miss Moon Griffin.
Yeah, I think even with those, you probably just want to take Trapper. He's just so good at messing up their blocking plans. And also just curving into battle creatures is so important that you just want to make sure you always have a 2-drop.
Okay.
And you always play creatures onto both turns 2 and 3.
Okay. Wow. We've been doing fine this draft. So like here we can get the third Deathblade Elite to make sure we're hitting on time, or we can get our second Halo. So if we get the second Halo, that gives us 1, 2, that's like four auras.
I don't think we want to play 2 copies of Brilliant Halo, so I think I just take Deathblade Elite here.
Okay. Yeah, actually, Tom just did that. Like, so Wild Mongrel is very good because it is like a 3/3 for 2 mana. Holy God, really?
Yeah, Kareem Abdul-Jabari is certainly a nice pickup here, and I think it's significantly better than Miss Moon Griffin.
I agree. So the reason that Wild Mongrel's good is it like also dodges, it becomes any color. So it dodges a lot of the removal, which is all color relevant. So like Exile is non-white creature, right? And then
it also threatens to kill them from like out of nowhere, right? Like they always have to be doing combat math to make sure they're not just dead.
Because it's +1/+1 for each card you discard.
Yeah, it's a card that's extremely hard to play against, and you don't fully appreciate it until you see it in play for the first time.
Yeah. So what do you want here? You just want to take the Afterlife, even though you hate it, or do you want to pick something else?
I think I would D up the Afterlife. Both it and Rescind are going to be very good against us. but there's a chance we'd board in Afterlife against certain creatures. Like if they play like a Visar or something, maybe we'd want it. Now, yeah, just take out the Shelter. Shelter's awkward because it's if it was 1 mana, it'd be great, obviously. But at 2 mana, it's like so hard to leave up 2 mana on the turn you want to protect yourself. So you play Elven Guide, but you're not gonna have 5 mana. So they always have a turn to like bounce the things. You can't Shelter protect.
Yeah.
There's some chance you could hate a Tendrils, but I don't think Tendrils even good. So I wouldn't worry about that.
So, I mean, like we're not ever gonna play Breath of Life, right?
Tangle, yeah, definitely a Tangle here. Tangle is a surprisingly important card in this format. It's so good when you're racing.
Okay.
Because it keeps their guys tapped down for a whole turn.
Okay.
And here we already have multiple seal cleansing, so I would just hate the Death's Head Buzzard. Although we'll put out that Killer Whale is actually quite good in this format.
Afterlife here.
Yeah, just take another Afterlife. Yeah, this deck is great.
Yeah, Tangle ruins the Goblin deck. That makes a lot of sense. I don't think we give a crap about the Familiar.
Yeah, no, we can take either. None of these cards are important, so you can take either.
We're 25-15 right now, which means we don't have a lot of cards to cut. So that's good.
Yeah, we're going to end up getting, again, because our first couple picks, or the first half of pack one kind of was wishy-washy, but we ended up getting really hooked up in the last 2 packs. We ended up with just enough playables, which is a good spot to be in. Probably just going to end up cutting like this Tangle, this Shelter, and that might be it. How many is that now? That gives us, we got cut the Lonely Sandbar, and that leaves us with 23 playables, right, and 1 land.
Yep.
And there we go.
Yeah, 23. So you want to play 17 lands? Well, I guess because one of them's a strip mine, right? It's a spell.
Yeah. I do 17 here. It's probably going to be 10-6. Ideally, you would love to play Mongrel on turn 2, but we have so many other 2-drops that it's not a disaster.
Yeah.
But you can never keep a hand that doesn't have white.
Yes.
And ideally, you really want to get to 2 white because our 3-drops. So I'd even consider 11-5 here, actually.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. 11-5 is actually the number that I had in my head too.
Yeah, I like 11-5 with 3 white 1-drops, multiple double white 3-drops, and 4-drops.
Yeah, and it is actually like the double whites that scare the hell out of me for playing less than 10, I think. Because we want double white on 3 for Harrier more regularly than not, right? And I mean it's so important we get it on 4 and 5. So I mean, like the odds of us getting on 5 is obviously really good, like whatever number we get. But I think that like the 3 to 4 range is really where we need to be worried about it. So, yeah, this deck seems sweet. I think
this deck's great.
I think Sidar Jabari is going to do fine. 14-2? No. Add to deck. All right. So, I think Jabari is actually reasonable because he also kind of like plays into the Trapper and Elite plan. Like,
yep.
Because we've got all of that. Like, when we had option of Griffin or Jabari, right? And that's ultimately what it came down to. And there was a couple people that made the comment to say, like, hey, what the hell are we doing here? Why are we taking Sidar? But I think that because we kind of have that controlling combat sub-theme going on, that I think
He's just good at forcing through damage, right? Like, you're going to be able to, especially as you mentioned, combined with Deathblade Elite, but even just put a pair of pants on him. He's so hard to block with flanking. And he just lets you, send in your 3 ground creatures. We do, a lot of our guys have evasion, making him a little less important, and maybe making Miss Griffin, Miss Moon Griffin, a little more on theme of the Space Griffin. But I think Jabari is a much more powerful card, and between the Trappers and the Elites, it's just going to be really hard for them to kind of put up any kind of resistance on the ground. And also, you can just tap their flyer, right? If they just play their own, say they play a Killer Whale, right? And they're threatening to be able to block your flyers, you're going to be really happy you have Jabari instead of another Griffin.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So, okay, can we... Yeah, okay, so we're just going to hide all this nonsense. So realistically, in terms of, like, what do we have access to? We've got Renewed Faith, which we probably will never play. And Tangle, which will be good. Seals will be fine. Afterlives are potentially okay. Shelter's fine. Yeah, we have a sick deck here, Tom.
Yeah, this deck's great. This is, I mean, basically exactly what you're hoping for when you first pick a Battle Screech. There are a couple of like uncommons that are great that we could wish to have. There's an Anthem guy who gives your creatures +1/+1, who's obviously absurd with Battle Screech, but
Yes.
this deck is very, very good.
Nice. Yep, just need me one of these. So, Jabari Parker. Yeah, being a 3/3 in combat. Okay. Yeah, so what I'm interested to see is like looking at this deck, you see there's like infinite X1s. Right? So X1s
Yes.
are a dime a dozen in this format, and then X2s as well. So if you're looking, what sort of effects do we have to worry about that lets us like cut, or that's going to really punish us? Like, are there any rats in the format? Are there any sweepers?
There's a couple sleepers at rare. So there's Death's Head Buzzard is the critical one at common. Another important card is just Spark Spray, I think it's called. The 1 mana, 1 red, just deal 1 and cycling.
Okay.
That card's surprisingly good in this format because there are so many cards like Soltari Trooper that you can just kill with it. So that card is a lot better than you might think from looking at it when you're drafting decks that can take advantage of the cycling.
Okay.
You want a lot of copies of that card. I mean, Mana War is good against us because we have these couple enchantments, but we're not all in on that plan, so it's not as bad as it could be. And there won't be that many copies of Mana War in the draft.
Yeah, I think we saw
Gonna go highly.
three total, and we took one.
Yep.
So, okay.
Oh, this deck is super. I have high hopes for this draft.
Nice. Discard Screech with Mongrel. Turn it to, yeah. I don't know if we ever actually discard Screech, right? Like,
you would need to have a very specific board state to want to have that be your play.
yeah.
That is not going to be the normal line you're going to take.
Winds of Wrath at rare. Famine is in black.
Yep, deal 3, lose 3 life.
Yeah.
That card is good.
Okay. But I mean, like, who's playing black? There wasn't a lot of. We were seeing like a lot of green-black going late. Like there weren't. We passed some storm enablers earlier, but I mean, like, we picked ourselves up a high tide. We got 2 temporal, whatever the
Temple Springs, yeah.
Temple Springs, right?
Or Temple Fissure, excuse me.
Temple
Temple Fissure.
yeah. So like, if I'm looking at your list of archetypes, like Blue-Green Madness is very likely represented in this draft.
Yep.
We didn't see a lot of cycling as it went late, but we didn't see any slides.
Right. So I mean, easily someone across the table could have just first picked a slide or been past the slide, and I'd be surprised if no one at the table is drafting something like that deck. There'll probably be someone drafting, again, green black of some variety, even gonna get black white in the slide deck potentially because you have the Edict guy. We saw 2 copies of Dark Hatchling in the draft.
Yep.
So.
Okay. Okay, good to know. I'm trying to go through goblins. Obviously, there's going to be a goblin deck at some point. We saw a metric crap ton of those.
We'll match up really well against them, though.
It's just because like we go over all of them, and we've got trumps in like some of our pants and tangle
Our
on the
pants
board.
great. They're 2 trappers. They don't interact well against Battle Screech usually. I think we're going to do. Their one plan is to try to like get card advantage with like ringleaders and whatnot, but I mean they're just going to draw into more 2/2s for 2. I mean they don't interact well with our primary game plan.
Okay. Okay. Sweet. So, how much fun did you have this weekend? I gotta ask you.
As you can see, I'm still young. I'm still exhausted.
Yeah.
Got home late last night. I had a blast. Commentary is super fun. I would have had more fun probably had I managed to win the tournament on Saturday, but that was a nice consolation of if you're getting to get in the booth and just talk about Magic for 2 days.
So let me ask. I'm gonna hit submit. I don't know if we're like the last ones or not, but yes, you do shake and bake. It should actually be on the way. So I saw your tweet about 13 consecutive lands for your deck to lose your win.
Yeah. So no, this is like just round like 6 or 7.
Okay.
But I think I had to win 2 more. So probably round 6. Yeah, it's round 6 or 7. So I had to win more than 2 more. I was playing against just green white and kept something really brutal. Nyx Fleece Ram, Divination, Jace, 4 lands, I think. I think I had one more spell. And then I played Ram on 2. Sorry, Syncopate was in there too. That was my hand. Not the Ram, Syncopate. I syncopated his Voice of Resurgence, and I cast Divination, I drew a Ram and a land. And then I played 3 straight scry lands, scry 3 lands at the bottom, and didn't draw another spell the whole game.
Ugh.
And I played Jason E. Boris Charmed it, and hit it for 1 to kill it. So I just had my Ram holding off his team for 4 turns, but then I died.
Yikes!
And that was that. It was it was, I don't know, all my matches kind of felt like that. They weren't very fun just because a lot of games were decided by mana on either side. If you watched my camera feature match against Jerry, game 2 was interesting. We both got to play, but game 1 I didn't play Magic, and game 3 he got stalled on lands, and I kind of just ran over him.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate. Round 3, same thing happened. I kept a 1-lander on the draw after mulling to 6, and didn't play a second land in game 1. And then game 3 needed to draw 1 more spell, or have my opponent not draw a spell. He had no cards, and he drew Read the Bones into duress for my Jace.
Yeah.
And a creature, and then I just drew 2 lands and died. So I don't know. I like games that have back and forth and have a lot of play to them.
Yeah.
And thankfully, when I was in the booth doing commentary, I got to watch a lot of those, and that's almost as much fun as playing them. So there were some really exciting and fun games that I got to cover, but the most ones that I played tended to be, decided by draw issues, not by play.
Gotcha. Well, I have to tell you, it's Spartacus has something on the head. When we had you on the A team, we were talking about it. Your pristine control deck from 3 years ago or 2 years ago or whatever is still the best deck he's ever played.
That deck is so much fun. I wish that I had, and I wish that I got to play the deck in Worlds, because who knows what would have happened.
Yeah.
But that deck is sweet.
Yeah. So, anyways, so coverage is interesting because it's something that has actually been worth discussing lately. And I was talking about it. Where was I? It might have even been on our show this week, but it's so funny because when you listen to the Wizards coverage, and even most of the CFB coverage that was done, yours kind of as the exception, but when I'm watching, when I have coverage on and I'm just listening to it, I know if it's not Cedric and Patrick, I don't actually know what's happening on the field. So I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
If you have the guys, if you've got Cedric and Patrick on, Sullivan obviously, if you've got them on, then you can have the stream going, not even look at the screen, and you can 100% reconstruct the board state.
Well, Cedric makes it so easy to be in the booth with him. So I got to do commentating with him once at the SCG Invitational in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. It was Osip, Cedric, and myself, and that was just, it made it feel so easy. Because Cedric is great at pacing the conversation. He's great at explaining what's going on, setting up the color guy to make the analysis, and really just controlling traffic around that. And that's something that's a skill you develop with practice. And I think with the booth that we had a lot of people that had really great understanding of Magic and could do really high quality analysis, but just we don't have the experience yet on how to kind of do the traffic jams. This is not a good hand.
We did win the play though, which is kind of exactly where we want to be. I feel like this hand's very good.
This hand is exceptional. Okay. Yeah.
So we can go Elite into Mongrel, which seems super, super amazing.
It's possible you want to do Elite into Strip Mine into Mongrel, just depending on what they play on turn 1.
Sure.
If they play, so it depends on the color. If they're an archetype that you think they might have a 2-drop, that would be, and there are so few 2-drops that trump in this format, so I can't, maybe there's no color which you would want to Strip Mine before playing Mongrel. When do you want to set them back a turn? So if you mentioned Strip Mine is going to function a lot like Time Walk.
Yep.
In this spot, you'd rather have more damage on the table when you cast the Time Walk.
Agree.
Normally, unless you're afraid they're going to play a 2-drop that is annoying, but
stops the damage flow on its own, right?
But that's not really going to happen, and it only would stop our Death Blade Elite. So who cares if that gets stopped? It'll turn itself back on later in the game.
Okay.
So almost certainly going to curve out Elite and a Mongrel into Strip Mine.
Okay.
So it's saying kind of on the commentating side, it's just there's just a lot going on and coming at you at once, and it just takes practice. Yeah. And I think especially when I was in there, I noticed it most when I was in there with Marshall and Ben at the Team GP the weekend before in the top 4 was super fun, and Marshall is just so good at what he does. He and Cedric, I think, are probably the 2 best at again kind of playing that role of just traffic cop.
Yep.
And setting up the commentator to let them do their job well. Marshall makes you look so much better when you're sitting next to him, because the way he just does that and just effortlessly. Oh, hello there, Master Walla. So the only consideration here on playing Strip Mine is we hope to like mana scream, so we can't play a Wild Mongrel, but I would just play a Wild Mongrel and just hope he doesn't have one.
Okay. So you want to? You just don't. Yeah, we just don't want to. Do you want to attack into this? Like, we just drew another elite.
Yeah, actually, let's just trade that thing off. Might as well.
So...
Player Forest, attack, and then you can cast the Mongrel if you want. It doesn't actually matter the ordering. There's no mutagenic growth in this set. So we're just going to provoke.
Oh, yeah, because we're going to provoke. Right.
Yep. I think you didn't get the ability yet. Go grab it again. I think it prompted you if you wanted to... Oh, you did it to yourself, I think.
What? Oh, really?
I think you provoked your own creature.
Sweet.
Yeah. Oops.
That's a thing?
Yeah, you
Target
can provoke.
creature defending player controls.
Oh, and you must have provoked this guy. Oh, he must have just auto-targeted. That's why you couldn't target. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
There you go.
And then let it trade. Yeah, of course you can't provoke your own guy, otherwise you can just abuse untap abilities. That makes sense.
Wild Mongrel, go. Alright.
Now let's see what he is up to here. Interesting, okay.
It's a Fintorn Elves?
Sure. It's just gonna strip mine that black source.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. So we can strip mine the black source, bash with the Mongrel, and then follow up with the Deathblade Elite. And skip off.
And now hopefully we got him. When you're playing Baronmore, it implies that your hand is either color light or just mana light in general. Ancient Tomb, jeez.
Huh. Okay. So what does he have? Like, what does he have here that could flash? Oh.
Sudden Strength is the only combat trick that's relevant here, I think. And there's Simian Grunts, which is a 3/4 that you can flash in. So, but if we just pants up our Wild Mongrel, none of those cards matter. We could pants up our Deathblade Elite, but then if he has Simian Grunts, or Sudden Strength, we get blown out.
Yeah.
So I think we should pants up our Mongrel and send in send just him in.
Okay.
Actually, I guess we can send in Deathblade Elite as well and just provoke the elves.
Provoke the elf. That's fine.
We're happy making that trade.
Yeah.
And if he just taps it for mana, then we get to do an extra point of damage.
So you can see here it does auto target.
Yep, that makes sense.
And then it'll ask me if I want to use it, and I say yes. Good.
So in the chat here, Spartacus, I actually played Blue-White Control at the WMCQ. I played a list very similar to Andrew Cuneo's list from the PT, which I can pull up and share with the chat. It's fine. It's not that exciting. It's certainly no... I mean, they don't just make the control decks as good as they used to, and they're not going to. So I think we need to get used to this. Once Rev rotates, there just isn't a blue-white control deck at all.
There's also no 4-mana Wrath, by the way.
I'm sure there will be in cons.
Yeah.
There'll be some form of a white Wrath. I don't know if it'll be 4 mana. Maybe it'll be 5.
So so here's the question. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to come back to the Wrath subject. You finish your line of thought, and then we'll come back to the Wrath subject.
Well, we're thinking, I mean, just like, if you look at the things that Brett Pristine Control that were so great, I mean, it just had, it was just better interacting, it had better finishers, just kind of across the board. Ew, it's not very nice.
That's really mean.
Well, I guess we'll have to find a land, and then we will continue to pummel him with our Wild Mongrel.
Okay. Alright. I pay 4 to untap it?
Yep. So
But
hopefully we draw a
only at
land
the
here.
beginning of the upkeep. Ooh, okay.
Right.
So then if we
So
if we get a land, we can do we play the Griffin?
yeah, we play Griffin and then we untap our Mongrel next turn, and we get to hit him for 6.
Okay.
Should be perfect.
No.
Oh, that's just mocking us. Okay. Schmuckery.
Yeah, so people saying that Stoddard's article from Friday implied that there's a pretty strong chance they don't print a 4-mana unconditional sweeper in cons.
Yeah, I didn't actually read his article. I was on my way to the WMCQ and just kind of get work done. But yeah, I mean, it's not gonna. Oh, geez, Mana Crypt too. This guy has a lot of mana. What's he doing with it?
Ugh,
That is an interesting card to be playing.
it's pretty big.
It's quite large. Hopefully, we draw our 4th land, and then we can laugh at it with our Wild Mongrel.
We drew our 4th land.
Here. So I think we want to cast the Griffin here.
Okay, your reasoning for that is?
Cast the Griffin, and then next turn we can cast Screech and flash it back both, right? Because we just have 3 white creatures to flash it back. Whereas if we play Screech, I guess if we play Screech, we can do the same thing the other way. If he has a removal spell for the Griffin, it'll get the Deathblade Elite back, and we'll still be able to cast and flash back Battle Screech in 1 turn.
Okay, that's a good reason.
Also, it makes us discard it. We would rather discard the Screech.
Screech than the Griffin, if push comes to shove.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like, he has a 10, right? Like, and this is something that we have to consider. Like,
Oh, sure. I mean, so I think if he leaves his worm back, we will not untap our Wild Mongrel. We're just gonna cast and flashback Screech.
He's now at 7.
He also has Mana Crypt in play, killing him,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah, and he can't use Ancient Tomb.
I assume that this Benevolent Ward really is not going to be able to attack here. Now that we're threatening to untap our Wild Mongrel. But yeah, I think if they don't print a 4-mana unconditional sweeper, and they keep printing cards like Rabble Master, whatever he's called.
Yeah.
I just don't like that direction for Magic. It's just impossible to catch up when you fall behind. It's so easy to fall behind because the early cards now are just so swingy. So let's see. I think we just don't untap here. And he did play a flyer as well, so let's just cast and flashback his Battle Screech.
Sure.
And then we'll be threatening to basically just kill him in the air with 4 power. He'll be taking at least 4.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd still just play the Battle Screech.
I agree.
Trapper's not going to be good until we get a 5th mana, so we can untap Mongrel and tap down Worm. Although Trapper looks like it's great against his deck.
So now we'll just flash it back now?
Yep. Definitely. Like I said, so if he misses this Mana Crypt flip, he's basically just dead. Because we're going to have, he can block 1 flyer and he's taking 4 in the air.
Yep. I won this time. Oh, no. Maybe not. Lost the flip again. Such justice.
That is the downside to having Mana Crypts. And Mana Crypt's
bold.
really at its best in a deck that's a little cheaper than his deck. He's playing a lot of expensive stuff like this Crozen Tusker and this Penumbra Worm and this Scourge Familiar. And the danger there is if you fall behind early, you take too much damage and the Crypt doesn't actually help you. You want Crypt to play like a 4-drop on turn 2, or a 3-drop on turn 1 ideally. Sideboard options. I don't want to. He has Paralyzed, but I don't think we want to bring in Seal. Like, you can always just pay for the Paralyzed. It's not a big deal. And I would bring an Afterlife because we already have the Radiance Judgment to deal with his big guys. So I actually think I just leave the deck alone.
Yeah, me too.
It is perfect.
I mean,
Just the way it is.
there's no card I don't want here. One game won in 1 minute.
Spartacus, I think that the new names are a bit silly. They're just a mouthful. I don't know. But I'm old. I'm cranky. I don't like change. Stupid kids, get off my lawn.
Oh man.
Bring back the old names. We had Anna, Necra,
I don't like
Giga,
it. See, and you know what? Like,
etc.
I'm middle school, and I don't like those either. I think those are
Oh,
ridiculous.
those names are terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
names are bad.
I'm 100% convinced that shards were fine. Right? They weren't
Yes.
long and they're like unnecessarily foreign feeling. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Cuz like Mardu and Jeskai, I just feel like there's these really hard consonants in them that don't roll well.
At all. Yeah. That is a great explanation of why they don't fit on the tongue. They just don't feel right.
No. Here we go. All right. So here we have like the perfect curve of pick your 2-drop into 3-drop. All of our mana, like this is basically the only thing we could want here is the 1-drop.
Yeah, his hand is perfect. Can answer a couple questions in the chat here. Conrad, I think that White Weenie will probably be good. I don't remember exactly what cards are rotating. I know you lose Precinct Captain, which is a big deal. Because I actually think like the Soldier version of the deck with Obelisk of Hurt is great right now. It's certainly very fun. But I know Precinct Captain is going to hurt as a card you lose. Oh, and you also lose. You're losing what's his name? The 2/1 for 1. Oh, hello.
Do we just jam him first?
Yes, I would just jam him first. What is that guy? The 2/1 for 1. That's protection from gold. Gains you life if they play gold spells.
Oh, Pantheon.
Soldier
Pantheon.
Yeah, that guy is great. And you're losing him too, so I think that's going to put a big hit on.
We're not losing Soldier of the Pantheon. Soldier of the Pantheon was Theros. He's good.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, we
I
lose.
was thinking because of the gold part that he was from Ravnica Block. Yeah, he stays. Okay.
He stays. Yeah.
So we're just losing Precinct Captain. I think it's the only major loss.
Yeah, I think White Weenie be fine. Like they're obviously going to get a bump from the sets because like you got all the white ones are really aggressive. I Dried Militant's the one you're thinking of that gets lost. So there's a Paralyze for a Wild Mongrel.
That's fine. He'll come back when we need him later.
Does it tap? No, it taps him too.
Yeah, my guess this guy can't beat just Harrier into Screech, so...
Sure.
Because no one can beat Harrier into Screech.
We picked up the land too, which is pretty sweet. Oh well, now we're gonna get all the lands.
Up to 5 is fine. We have a couple 5-drops, and we won't be able to use our trap or roll casting stuff, so...
Yeah.
So the only card now we want to watch out for is Claws of the Wirewood.
3 damage to the...
Wirewood, yeah. The cycling, deal 3 to all flyers and players. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'm not that worried about it, so I still would just play the Battle Screech and flash it back here. This guy likes hitting himself.
Yeah, why are you hitting yourself? So Scourge Familiar's here. It's like more ramp.
Yeah, but I mean, if he wants to spend cards to play a fatty, then we just play an Knowledge Trapper. I think we're going to be happy with that outcome.
Truth.
So let's just deploy the Air Force.
Ooh. And then afterwards, we're going to have like infinite guys on the board. This is ridiculous. Now I understand very clearly why Battle Screech is ridiculous.
Yes.
It's like it's like instantly free 4 guys. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just better Triplicate Spirits.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you could arbitrarily argue that it's for this. I mean, is it as powerful as Lingering Souls was in this, like in its format for this format?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's common.
Makes it better.
It is a nice one.
Yeah. Raise the alarm into Triplicate Spirits is good. So I'm actually really excited for the new standard. Personally, I'm just tired of what's going on. I know that it's fine and stuff, but I'm
current standard is lame. I want new standard. This standard is not fun to play.
Yeah. Flowstone Sculpture. Discard a card. Get stuff.
Okay. You can gain flying. Okay. I know we can do all the things. I'm just not sure what that entails. So we can discard his whole hand to activate it once. And now we're going to show the power of the Gust Cloak ability by descending in our whole team.
Do you want to? We don't want to untap the Mongol.
No, definitely not. We want to get the Trapper into play. Trapper's going to make the Flowstone guy look silly. So they just send all of our guys.
Just send all?
Yeah, like if he wants to, we're fine. I mean, dealing 5 to him and losing we're fine turning each of those tokens into a Lava Axe, right? That'll kill him. And if he wants to pitch his whole hand to give Flowstone guy flying, that's great. And if he wants to block our Gust Cloak, we just untap it. So, yeah, he just takes 5 here, and then we just play our Shadow guy and our Tapper, and what's he do? Spark, it's my pleasure. Great to be here.
I'm so beneficial. I'm so thankful you're here. It's not even fair.
No, absolutely my pleasure. Standard, I think Frodo's gonna be fine. I'm sure that it means they're gonna do something to make the standard format mix up more often, which I'm excited to see what they do. They would not announce this if they're gonna keep standard the way it has been.
Yeah.
Like this past year would have been a disaster because the standard format was so just didn't really change at all.
So
that
tells me that they're going to be releasing some ridiculous cards in the set. Like, I've been pestering Jerry Thompson so hard to give me anything about cons, right? Like anything, and he's like Fort Knox, and all he can say is, "Cons is fucking sweet," and that's all he can tell me.
Well, I spent the whole weekend with Jerry. He was out here staying with Raptor, and we were hanging out a bunch. And yeah, I try to get some info out of him. This guy really likes his paralyzes.
He does.
Third one for the Trapper too.
Be so spicy.
If it's not that, he's just dead. I mean, he's dead anyway. This is not going to go well for him. We can always just pay to untap our Trapper if we want to. And
he does have it. Holy God.
Okay, maybe we'll bring in a Seal Cleansing. 3 Trappers and I mean, it will be a game 3 because we're going to beat him, but 3 Paralyzes and a Flowstone guy.
I'm pretty sure, by the way, that we're going to pay to untap this Trapper, right? Because like we can still pay and use it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I mean, like, is it worth the Trapper or is it worth getting the 2 on Shadow guy?
I think it's worth the Trapper because then if he moves in on the Flowstone guy, we just actually let's think about this. So he's at 11. We're gonna hit him for 4 because he'll eat another bird token. So he's gonna go to 7. If we untap the Trooper, yeah, actually I would just untap Trooper.
Yeah. Okay.
You're right.
So it's the second one.
That thing doesn't gain Shadow, does it, Flowstone dude? It's like flying for strike or trample. Okay.
Cancel. Okay.
Which one's this one?
This is the one.
Yep, that's not okay. Just leave up away, yeah. And this is why Paralyze is not all that good, because you get these board states where they have mana, and they just spend their mana. It's the same reason why Oppressive, who's a what's its? Oh, hello, Karma Guide. We can also run the line of discard something to Wild Mongrel to get something to guide. It puts it into play, right? Not into your hand?
Correct.
Yeah, so it's just into everybody.
Just a note.
You can right click and
Yeah. Just making sure you weren't changing your mind on me.
Oh no, not at all. No, just take advantage of the new functionality.
Yeah.
It's worth.
So, you know about the M button, right?
No.
Oh, see, who did I tell? Who did I shared this with someone else too, and they're like, I'm back into Moto. So if you hold down the M button while you're tapping your lands, so you know you got your dual lands, right? And there's a color on the left and a color on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you hold
M just means like any color.
M gives you the first color on the land.
Why did he just take 2 damage there for no reason?
He
just tapped 2 instead of tap. He's
hello, discarding and then casting an Arrogant Worm.
That is a good reason for him to take 2, although it was probably wrong because Arrogant Worm doesn't actually do anything here. Yeah. And he's just dying. He's taking what, 5 now?
So he's giving this flying.
Right. So he'll block 2 of the tokens. He'll take 5 and go to 4. And then next turn we can almost kill him. Yeah, next turn we'll just play Karma Guide probably.
And not get it for 2? Like, these are our options, right?
Yeah, I think we'll want to play Karmic Guide next turn, and but let's see what he depends on what he does. If he holds his card in hand, so he can fly his. Oh wow, okay, that's bad. Obviously he's Gust Cloak now. I think he wanted to kill one of our tokens there.
So now we're gonna do this.
Yeah, so click OK and then click yes. Yeah, so we're gonna untap so he doesn't eat our guy, and then he just takes 4 here. We just get to keep our Gust Cloak here and all of our and those 2 tokens. So now next turn we can. He saves the life points and then he goes to 5. But we keep the flyers. We have to do that same point to him again next turn.
Sweet.
So he doesn't actually save damage turn over turn.
Okay.
So he's 2 blockers that are flyers, so he can block our Harrier and one of the tokens. So we can only do 3 to him right now if we untap the Trooper. And since it's not lethal anyway, I'm inclined to just play the Karmic Guide, drop the Phantom Nomad into play.
Yeah, so discard it to Mongrel and play it, okay.
Oh, the thing gains flying permanently? Oh, interesting. I thought it was the gains a counter and gains the ability to
No.
turn. I forgot that. Okay.
Gets a counter or the ability permanently.
Okay. I see. Okay, reading is hard. A lot of words.
So block, we get 1, 3, put him to 2. He swings here, we take 4. I mean, like, he's losing this race. He needs to add to the board, but I don't think he's only got 1 card in hand.
Right. He's just going to attack with Air Worm, I assume, here.
No, he's going deep.
That is ambitious.
To say the least. Like, Berserk isn't in this format, right?
It is.
Alright.
But it's not killing us. I mean, it's only 4. So we go to 12. This is fine. We'll just get a Phantom Worm and play next turn. Or, sorry, Karmic Guide into Phantom Nomad. So we're still not threatening lethal, right? Because he has a blocker, so he can just block the Glisco Carrier, and he would only take 4. 2 from the tokens and 2 from the Trooper. So since we can't kill him, we'd rather just play Karmic Guide and put in Phantom Nomad.
Sure. Thanks, Bartigus. That's really kind of you, man. I really appreciate it. Worked pretty hard. But it was all you guys that put me there, so I can't take any credit. Oh, goodness.
He's pumping his guy.
Yes, he is. So if he pumps his guy, he's got no cards in hand. Discarded Finhorn Elves. So we take 9. Go to 11.
Just thinking there's a chance we can tap Mongrel here, but there's not. He'll just chump it. He'll take 4, go to 1, and then we could lose. So yeah, I would just play the. I wouldn't untap anything. Just send the flyers and just cast, discard Phantom Nomad and play Karmic Guide.
Okay.
So again, here, if we could kill him this turn, we obviously would.
Yes.
But since we can't, let's just widen our board in the most efficient way. We make sure we don't die on accident. So we'll just play Karmic Guide, put Nomad in play, and then chump with Karmic Guide on his Flowstone guy if it attacks. So just send in the flyers here. We're still fine, like, attacking first because, right, we want to put him at 2. If we put him at 2, then our Shadow guy is lethal. So we want to just hit him with those 2 tokens. Or we start with, we wanted to block a token here and just put him to 2. So he'll probably just block the Gust Cloak Carrier. Go to 3, we trade, that's fine.
Yeah, I was going to say, we do trade here. This is the one time when you don't untap him if he blocks it. No, there he goes, okay.
Okay, so he's going to be dead now to that Shadow guy next turn. So let's just discard and play Phantom or Karmic Guide.
Now we pick a color. Does not matter. Supplies.
Inbound.
Yep. We get a guy. Blocks. Well, I mean, it's not going to block the Argent Worm, but this will get by something, yeah. So he's totally dead next turn. He's going to have to feel like a god.
I can't think of a card he can draw because both Famine and Claws do damage to him. Mm-hmm. So both of his sweeper options will kill him.
Yep. We got it.
There we go. All right. Yeah, this deck is great.
Pretty pleased with it.
Looks like we have a little bit of time. I'm going to step off for 1 second.
Okay.
I'll be back in like 2-ish minutes.
Okay, sounds good. In the meantime, I'll put up my abortion of a standard deck, and you guys can take a look at it and tell me what you think. So we discarded the Phantom Nomad there, Dr. Cat, because the Karmic Guide brings a creature from the graveyard and puts it into play. So since we had no other creatures in the graveyard, we basically just wanted value. So we discarded it, so we get it for free. So this is my my current standard build that I've been tooling around with. I really haven't had a lot of time to play around with. I'll move this now. There. I haven't had a lot of time to play around with standards. I've been focusing so hard on modern, but I had this like from the Naya big range deck. Chat does need more PSAMs, and I updated it for M15, and it's been a whole hell of a lot of fun. Let me tell you, very, very aggressive, super fun, and Museum Orders is out, obviously. Scavenging Ooze is out. Selesnya Charm is out. Like half my mana base is out. We lose, some of these cards. But for the most part, the shell is going to be reasonable. So it's worth considering. And so I like this more than Junwalkers because it's a bit more aggressive. So Willie Edel, when he posted his Junwalkers list, he's like, this isn't a control deck. Play it like an aggressive ramp deck. And even no matter how many times I tried to play it as an aggressive ramp deck, I often just got like these terrible cards that were just like removal in bad spots, or it's just clunky, and it just wasn't getting the job done. So what I wanted to do is like skimp out on some of the removal, play it really like a dedicated ramp deck, and then just go. How does this deck play versus Planar Cleansing deck? I mean, it's not excellent, but post board you get like a lot of mana and a lot of Mistcutter Hydras, so that seems pretty good. But yeah, so Tom, give me your opinion on this real quick.
I think the white is probably worse than the black.
Okay.
Is my guess, because Thoughtseize is just so good.
Yeah, and Thoughtseize is like honestly the card I think that really makes Jund possible. From the Walker.
Yeah, I mean it's not just that card, but also having access to slaughter games in the sideboard is huge.
Sure.
Those two, and then just I think, and then I also think that Pelukrinos is risky just because of the number of life-bane zombies running around.
Agreed.
But I think it's probably still fine. It's my guess.
Yeah. So and I agree, and it could just be that this is a cut. And I was looking at it from the like main deck mono blue with few lesser removal options, right? So the other thing that's nice too is there's a lot of devotion, a lot of burn, and this deck generates Junwalkers can generate mana. We remember like the monsters lists generating ridiculous amounts of mana for huge monstrosities. Like Xenagos is crazy for that sort of stuff, right? And this deck has that going for it. It very often is generating like I plus Xenagos probably more in this deck than you would ever in the Junwalkers deck.
Sure.
Just because you've got like so much use for the mana. This is very good, and that way it kind of frees up some of your resources. You can kind of really ramp out, and like I said, make it way more aggressive. Fleece Mainline has been a tremendously good monstrosity sink.
Sure.
This card is just, the 3/3 being able to attack through most stuff, being able to like block coursers and not worry about it. Like it's just it's good depending on where you're at, right? And then this guy,
He seems. I mean, that's the one card that's interesting here. I think to me, I have no idea what to expect out of him, other than that his pluses are going to be pretty absurd.
Yeah, and that's really where I'm at with this guy. So So you're able to hedge on a couple of your walker numbers because of the ability. And like I said, I mean, we talk about it being more aggressive. You know, like you ever monstrosity this guy and start piling counters on him, you're done, right? Like even just piling up on mystics, I bash somebody and like the Nissas, the 4/4 lands with trample, and then making them 7/7s is good. You know, spitting at 5/5s with Xenagos, also good. You know, so like you've got these nice, you know, 2/2s with Elspeth. Like these are all things that you can do which are good. It helps to make the coursers less abysmal in the mid-range green mirrors.
You know, Johnny is I mean, certainly a very good card in this deck, and maybe it's enough to offset the loss of Thoughtseize. It's sort of, do you want to be pushing your plan more, or do you want to be interrupting their plan some?
Agreed.
And this version obviously is just you're wholeheartedly just pushing your plan, and that might be enough.
Yeah.
I mean, Xenagos is absurd. Nis is ridiculous. Ajani maximizes both those interactions.
Yeah. She's fine. I mean, so the falter effect is actually surprisingly good in this deck. Which is something that I find nice. The exile is also good with a massive amount of mana generation, which is fine. So I don't know. It's like I said, it was something I've been screwing around with. It's not excellent by any stretch, but this is a crap ton of fun and it is competitive. I've been beating up on almost every single devotion list that I played online. I beat most of the red decks, except for Red White Burn, but I haven't really played against it. So I mean, like, we've got a post-board matchup game plan of like playing Steadfasts, Smiters, you know, like making these big creatures, giving them lifelink. Initially, the version of this list that played in SCG when Journey became legal, but before M15, had like unflinching courages and stuff.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, so like a Johnny Steadfast is far superior to an unflinching courage.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree with that.
so that's been pretty sweet, and Polychronos has been good for that matchup too. But like, I agree that I feel comfortable with the matchup because a lot of the things that it has going for it. Yeah. Oh God, here we go. Let's see how good it is against the blue-white matchup, shall we?
All right, I have minimized Skype, and so I will not be observing.
All right, so we will play first.
I will hear your audio, so I think
that's fine. I think this is a serviceable hand. This is fine. We'll just start here.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay, we're still good. This is fine. Actually, this was the wrong land. Awesome. Oh, sure. I can do that too. And I can close this. There, now we're good. Alright. So you potentially run this into that. Yeah. Do you care? Probably not. So, okay. So 100% should have played the land and then played the Corsair.
Yes.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Because like that's where I was at. Like, do you actually care about that card? Like, I.
It depends on your hand. Like, if you're gonna like try to play like a Xenagos next turn or something, and you just want my single bit gone, like that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah. Now, the other side of it is if you were so quick to just blow that, then I think I played this card.
You have a lot of planeswalkers.
Yeah, I do.
Oh man, I'm playing the wrong version of this list. Shoot. I was looking at my sideboard. I do not have the card that I wanted for this matchup.
Pitting Needle?
No, I played a Fated Retribution at the WMCQ
okay, yeah, that's perfect.
for these matchups instead of a Ratchet Bomb.
Yeah, it's perfectly serviceable. I guess we can do this.
Stop.
No, I will
Dislike.
not. Will not stop. Can't stop, won't stop, Tom.
Dislike. Ow, my face. And this is just a bullshit magic card.
What, Nissa? She's so good. Planar cleansing? It seems bad.
Not with these spheres in my
Oh,
deck.
that's bad. Yeah, it's fine. And now you just got a minus. Yeah, it's bad.
Kind of just dead to that Nissa though.
Yeah, we're working on it. Anyway. So here's the question. So do I care about giving you 3 more guys if all my guys have trample when I can put you at 3? Probably, because if you untap and rev, make 3 guys and rev, then Elspeth potentially stays alive. But then maybe you can't rev. Maybe you Wrath and then +1.
That is definitely the question.
You have 3 cards left in hand?
I do.
I mean, like, if you had a Wrath, you certainly wouldn't have been playing it that way. So if I put you into a situation where you have to rev, 1, 2, 3, that's 3. It's going to leave you at 4. You're still dead to another activation of Nissa. And then, God forbid, I actually pull anything, right? So I think I have to attack you here. It's tough because like you're at such like, and truthfully, if you were like 3 more life points, I think I have to kill Elspeth. But the fact that these lands have trample is fucking stupid.
I really wanted you to attack Elspeth. I was strongly rooting for an Elspeth attack there.
So I can play this.
Yeah. Ow. Dude, M's awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You've changed my life.
That's what everyone says to me when I tell them that. So people are suggesting that round I should have killed Elspeth and you.
I like this attack. You're gonna put me to 1. Kill me if you have, what's it called?
So if you're plussing Elspeth, you totally don't have verdict. What are we doing here?
I can't minus its on 2.
What?
Elspeth was on 2. I couldn't minus it.
Oh,
Oh, you're thinking about plus it first.
Yeah. Now I understand. Okay, so then you minus this one. Kill both my lands. Okay. So that's fine. I mean, that's not fine, but you get where I'm going.
So how did I get you out of play? Go home. This detention sphere is your home. Go into it. It's like trying to lure a rabid raccoon off your deck into the little trap. Here's the detention sphere. I'll put a treat in for you. I really hope you didn't draw. What's it called?
Sludging Charm? Be really good right now.
Yeah.
I did not, though.
Yeah, it would have been really bad for you if you'd drawn Sludging Charm.
Bad for me?
Yeah.
Oh, you had a Zori's Charm? Oh, that's hideous.
Yeah.
That was
It
hideous,
would have
Tom.
gone poorly for you if you had drawn it. Now I get to play with Planeswalkers too. Isn't this fun?
They're so fair. Oh, God. None of this is good. Here. What'd you take? Oh, okay.
I took
Two
the.
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you probably have a red. Oh, yeah.
I did not think I was winning this game.
I didn't either. I mean, I guess we gotta do something here, right? AJ's minus, so you've got another one of these Azorius Charms, but I have to try to kill you. You're not gonna rep for one. You very clearly have Azorius Charm.
I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Guess let's just Charm.
Oh.
I have to go get it first. Had it on layaway.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
This is finally gonna die.
Nisse is finally gonna die. Oh, this is just hideous. I don't think there's actually any way I can come back from this.
Yeah, you did. I have another Jason.
Yeah, okay.
I have a counter spell too. So I just take Divination, draw 2, and
Yeah, here you
counter your
go. I'll
thing.
just concede, it's fine.
Yep. Man, I wish I had Fate Retribution.
Yeah, seriously.
It would be good in this matchup.
Alright.
I do not have very many cards I want to board in.
Okay, so for this matchup, I want to do away with these cards. And I think these are pretty bad. I want these. These are probably fine. This guy's less good. I could probably shave one of him though. So I'm trying to figure out if I want this at all.
This being.
No, I don't want to tell you. Not at this point. We'll talk about it afterwards, but we're not going to tell you now. There we go. I just needed somebody to tell me no. Seems fine. Give me what I want. Is this good? That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted.
For sure.
Alright. You got it. Alright.
Oh, right, you have that card.
I have this card. Oh, you don't have it, huh? Alright, well that's good. What do I want to do here? I guess I'm priced in now.
Yuck.
Surprise. He's pretty good after a verdict. Yeah, okay. Well, we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna do this. Thanks for the life points, Tom. We are playing Vintage Masters, but I'm currently battling Tom Martell in a heads-up battle of my janky Nia Walker's list against his streamlined, currently mana-screwed blue-white control deck. We are currently 1-0 in the Vintage Masters draft. I just want to land off the top. That's what I want. Is it too much to ask? Apparently it's too much to ask, Tom. Options. Red zone open. It's fine. Attack with all. Okay. Land, verdict, pass. I like the new client. I have no problem with the client in game. Ooh. Sucked out there, Tom. I sucked out. So, oh, our match has started.
Oh, sweet. I just came back. Excellent.
So we will kill this. Yes. All right. So I feel like this is probably a perfectly serviceable opener. We've got turn 2 Trooper. We've got some pretty sweet high ends. We just need to draw some lands. We are on the draw.
Yeah, this is definitely a cube.
The problem is, so red gives you Xenagos, which is like the most ridiculously broken card. And then on top of that, we get Mizzy Mortars, which is kind of one of those, wow, kind of one of those like necessary evils for the format right now.
Yeah, Mortars is very well positioned right now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like you don't beat green-white without Verdict or Mortars. It just does not happen. Plus we get like quick removal. Oh, that's like really good in case we stumble here. So we're gonna just jam for. Like, do you want to reveal the green land at this point, or do we want to play Strip Mine into Trooper?
I played the Forest.
Yeah.
You let him know that you're green, rather than let him know that you have Strip Mine.
Okay.
Like if he's like only has one swamp, you want him to play it.
Sure.
We probably won't be using it yet, but might as well have access to it.
Sure. Yes, and Blood Baron also is a really tough card for us to deal with generally. Alright, so we're just going to jam for 2, play the Strip Mine and the Deathblade Elite? Or you don't want to... Like, the only reason is, like, our 4s are dumb, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
like,
I like that line.
We need to get
Yep.
there.
Yeah, we definitely do not want to use the Strip Mine here.
Whoop. Nope. That one. I do not have a list to the Junkwalkers deck. So, Tom, I was playing Voices at one point over Fleece Main Lines.
Yeah, I like Fleece Main Line a lot more.
Okay.
I think Voice is very good in this format. I mean, it's fine, but it's not really exciting.
Krosan Vorian, a 3/2 with Provoke. Okay.
That's fine. Annoying for our Deathblade, but hopefully he's going to be tapping to cast the Battle Screech.
Oof.
Or not.
Awkward.
I might just cycle tapping the green and the Strip Mine to try to draw a land so you can leave up the Deathblade ability. Goodbye, Deathblade.
Goodbye, Deathblade.
Provoke the Skywing Haven.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Let's get a card out of his hand. Hello, giant box.
It's okay. We can move it.
Hey, the target.
Choose a target creature. This one. Okay, good. Yeah. All right, we're good.
And choose yes.
Yes.
There we go. Okay.
Okay. So it has to block us anyway. Yeah, okay, I understand. So that's going to do first and then second, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's layered over top. Okay.
Oh, wow, you just let them trade. That's sweet.
Sweet.
His hand must be decent then.
I mean, is that good or bad news?
A little from column A, a little from column B.
Yeah. Illegal block. Just need a land. Yep. Alright, so Battle Screech, flashback Battle Screech?
Yes. Hopefully no counterspell here. Can you just cast Circuit? Yeah, Circuit Logic it. Oh, yeah. Oh, whatever, hit him for 2. We'll do a lot of Battle Screeching next turn.
Okay. Yeah, and then God forbid we get another land and just jam Radiant. Then things get silly.
Yep.
Yep. Concur. I mean, like, we're not doing too bad on the race here. I mean, we're keeping it fairly even. We're at 12. Like, he was on the play, right? So we're going to crack... Oh, I guess this time we're not cracking back, but...
Maybe we might be. There's some... No, with the mana we have, we would never work. Actually, here... I think we play Trapper Trooper flashback.
So that's going to mean our... Oh, Trap... Oh! Yeah, I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, now we have a ton of power on the board.
Sweet.
Lots of evasion, and we get this Trapper going.
So, like, well, I mean, we're going to lose the Trapper.
Oh, he's going to eat it with that thing. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that, yeah.
But I still think the play is fine, because then
Yeah,
we've got, like,
game
a
the Trooper in
ridiculous
place.
clock, right?
Getting the second troop in place is very good. Plus, it gains us 3 life if he kills the trapper, so we win the race.
Truth. Yeah. Yep, you do it.
The sacrificial trapper.
You served us well. You made us birds. What else is he doing here? Anything? Oh, white land. That's interesting.
Can't remember offhand like what cards might be splashing. Like Brago, maybe. Oh, yeah. In before Brago.
In before Brago. All right, so
that's fine here. Here we can just let's see which play do we want to make.
like Radiant becomes a 5/5. I mean,
It'll be a 6/6. It counts as flyers too.
So I mean, like we jam that, or we go deep on the Battle Screech here. He's got 2 blue up still, but I mean, even if we jam, we could strip a blue, but then we can't cast a Radiant. So maybe, I mean, maybe we jam Radiant into the 2 blue, and then if he does have like Circular Logic or Counterspell or something, we just Karmic Guide her back. Or do you like going deep on Battle Screech here?
I'm thinking. Let's see.
So like we attack, he's gonna be at 10, right? With the two troopers.
Yeah, I like playing a Radiant here.
After combat.
Yes, there's no reason to do it before, so just send the troopers.
Okay. And then Radiance. It resolved. Gross.
Sweet.
Yes. Yes, Battle Screech is that gross. Now I see why everyone was complaining about it for so long. The flashback of just flashing back, tapping guys is pretty sick. Repel. Alright, well. We know our draw next turn.
Minorly annoying. We don't want to lose this race.
So we have to block Brago. Right? Because otherwise he just he untaps all of his blockers.
But I mean, it doesn't actually necessarily matter if we don't have anyone to attack with. But I think, yeah, you do. Let's see. He didn't provoke.
He can't provoke.
Well, I mean, he can. He broke the flyers.
Oh, yes. No, he did not.
Okay, so let's think of what we want to do here. So let's go to
He
blockers.
can't be blocked by more than one, right? So.
Right. I think we just. I think just chump Vorian with one of the.
Chump him?
Yeah, with one. We don't care if his guy's untapped because we're not attacking with flyers, attacking with shadow creatures. We're going to use the other Screech token to tap to Battle Screech, I think. On 1 second.
Yeah.
This is dumb.
Alright, so. Yeah, that makes sense. Why can't I do this? Oh. Ah, he did provoke. That's fine then.
Yeah, so I like just chumping here, let him attack his guys.
He actually did. He actually did provoke this one bird.
Oh, okay. Well, then we wanted to block it anyway.
Yep. And then Brago.
I guess this way gives him one more loot, maybe.
He did
but
loot.
This way, that's just,
he discarded the
yeah.
gross.
I think it's untap the sorcerer too. But this way we get to flash back the Battle Screech off of the bird token.
Sure.
And if we draw land, we get to strip one of the islands first, so we can't even counter. I
No,
guess
we
you can
draw
still circle
Radiant,
logic, but right, yeah, we know we're drawing, sure.
But he didn't counter Radiant last time.
Well, he didn't counter because he had repel.
So
let's just think if we want to strip or not. I don't think we want to strip mine here. I would just attack with the 2 Centauri Troopers. And then Screech, flashback, Screech.
and if he counters our Screech, then what?
Oh, I guess we should have done it first main then, so we couldn't counter. So we could still flash it back.
Well, so hold on.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't have lethal anyway, so it's fine.
Okay. But like,
Yeah, this is fine.
okay, so we're gonna hit him for 4. He's gonna go down to
Yeah,
6.
And then just play Screech, leaving up strip mine.
Like, we're still in combat. Like, it's not too late to strip the blue in combat and then run our Screech Gambit.
But we might need to play Karmic Guide next turn, so it can chump the Brago. So I would just play Screech Post. Like, we're not dying if he hits us with everything, right? Say he counters it, he only has 6 power. So the next turn we just play Karmic Guide. And bring back Trapper, and we have 3 blockers.
Yeah.
So we're fine.
Okay.
It doesn't even matter if he has counterspell here.
Okay. Well, then that makes sense. Yeah, he's got it. There it is. Okay.
Good though, he has 2 actual like card counterspell in his deck. And here we go. We just jump the Vorian again and get him with our 2 Shadow guys. Actually, if he doesn't provoke, we can jump Brago. Is that better? I guess he provokes.
Yeah, he provokes.
Yeah, just block Vorian then. And then we just hit him from 2 and play Karmic Guide, get back 2 blockers, and he has to try to do a lot of damage to us with not many cards in him.
Sure. Alright. Well, we got a Nomad. Alright. Karmic Guide?
Yeah, there it goes.
Trapper, you want?
Yeah, Trapper seems better here. And then just hit him with our 2 shadowy fellows.
What do we got? You're 2. Choking Tethers, maybe? No, Frantic Search? So apt!
Digging.
So apt!
Digging.
Discards 2 lands? Yeah, he's done. Alright. Alright, did you see anything that we want to change here?
Splashing Brago. Brago's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Brago, Vorian.
Like, is Afterlife better than Judgment here?
No, I don't think so. Considering Tangle, I don't think we need it.
My god, that also holds them down? That card's ridiculous.
Yeah, actually, we probably do want Tangle. It's good. It's great against Brago. It's good against Vorian. We can cut Judgment here. That's fine. Yeah, I just make that change.
Alright. Also fine. Right?
Yeah, that's good.
Alright. Looks good to me. And we get another planes. Alright. Not walking into turn 2 counterspell, so that's a bonus. Akamoeba. Okay, so we're gonna go Trooper here to get our jam on.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Yep, Trooper, and then maybe we want to board out Brilliant Halo for game if there's a game 3. He has Repel. He probably has like 1 Mana War, And while the green ones have really high upside, Arbitral Cloak and Elven Guide, the Brilliant Halo one's not nearly as good.
Sure.
Well, it does come back to your hand if they bounce.
The creature.
Not in response, but yeah, if they bounce it later, which is not so bad.
You got it. We take 3?
I'm fine with him. Unless it's Ruwala. That's annoying.
Yeah,
It's Ruwala.
Roar of the Worm he discards, though.
Also annoying. Okay, well.
So we totally need our Trapper online here at this point then, right?
Yes. Yeah, attack for 2 play Trapper.
Yeah. Force of willed my Trapper, exiling Brago.
Okie dokie.
He's really leaning on that Roar of the Worm, huh? Alright. So I guess, like, if he plays the land and roars, then we have to just, like, jam the plains and double Screech, right?
Yeah, just double Screech for sure.
Yeah, okay.
And token doesn't travel.
And that's what I was thinking, right? Like, it could be way worse.
You click this, yeah, there you go.
Alright.
There's a chance we even wanted to just play the Harrier on 3. Well, then he still would have had Forceful in his hand for the... It would have worked out much worse for us.
Yes.
He would have Forceful the Battle Screech.
Yes. So, what do you want to do here? Just the 6/6? Like, he's only like a 2 card in his hand, right?
I would chop the 6/6 just so we don't die. We're not like dead to choking tethers.
Kenai Aven.
Okay.
1 card in hand he has.
Let's think here. So I think we want to just play...
Like, we've got the Halo Nomad combo to stop the Worm now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's any way we can just kill him with Halo and Trooper first, but I don't think so. So we could probably just hit him for 2, and then just play Nomad, play Halo. Or play Nomad, play Harrier.
Yeah, okay. And then we'll block the Worm with the Nomad this time and then play Halo on it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the reason to play the Harrier instead of just jamming Halo on the Nomad was just mana efficiency, or...
Well, now we can attack the Harrier potentially if we, depending on what we draw. This just gives, we don't know for sure we want to put the Halo on the Nomad. This just gives us more flexibility.
Still good here.
That'd be the only.
Too late now, but...
Yeah. There's like some tiny chance we might want to triple block the Kina Aven or put Harrier on the Alchemy Bow.
Guess we are down to 8.
He only has 1 card though, so I'm not too concerned.
We would like to stop drawing lands at some point this game. That'd be nice. That'll help.
Yeah, so let's think about this.
So, I mean, like, do we start to transition the bird squad to just, like, literal chump block modes so that we can try to stay alive?
No, we don't need to do that. I think we're attacking with the 2 of the birds and the Trooper.
And the Trooper. You want to attack the Harrier?
No, Harrier needs to block Aquamiba. It should have blocked it last turn. That was my mistake.
Oh, okay. Alright, so that makes sense. And then we're going to play Trooper and Halo up this Phantom, right?
Yeah, we're going to really hope he doesn't have Repel. and lead the trooper first. So if you drew counterspell, you wanted to counter the trooper. Okay, now Halo the. I'm being repelled. That would suck.
Yeah, we're being repelled.
That's not that old actually. It's a fine card to draw next turn. It just blocks it for 2 more turns. So this turn we're gonna take. He has no cards in hand.
Yeah.
I think we're a favorite this game still. Just Sego.
We can play the land. You want to keep it?
Yeah, keep it. We know we don't need it. We're drawing a 2-drop.
Yeah.
So make him fear something.
Unless he's, birding our stream, which is funny. I don't presume to think that we're important enough. We as in me, not you. You're clearly important enough.
I'm not sure that statement's true. So here, we're getting maximally punished for attacking with that extra bird. Harrier definitely blocks Alchemy, but then we set the chump the worm with 1 token. We wish we had another token to block the Skywing Haven, obviously. Maybe we should just play the enchantment before combat, actually. Oh, he would repel at the end of turn, probably.
Well, then we would have got the Halo back, if that's the case.
Yeah. But we'd still be in this spot. We wouldn't change this. So we're at 4. Let's cast that guy and see if he resolves first.
Yes, he does.
Okay. So we're sending our 2 shadow guys for sure.
So the Phantom blocks the worm, Harrier blocks the Aquamoeba, and then we've got a bird. We've got birds to trade. We can trade with one of them and then chump the other.
Yeah, so things I'm considering, like, is there a way we can make this so we might have lethal the following? So if we do 5 here, for instance.
Yeah.
We'll then have 6 with the 2 troopers and the Harrier, which is lethal, potentially.
Okay.
So I would send 1 bird. We now die to a bounce spell, but I'm fine dying to a bounce spell here. I don't think we're beating one
We're
regardless.
not beating one anyway, yeah. Alright.
So go again. So yeah, we want him to not tap mana here.
Shit. Yeah, rescind.
And if we did. Yeah, I don't think we can beat that anyway. 1 second.
Yep.
This is Tom.
And he has to discard the card there anyway. We block this. We block this. And he discards his island and we do this. Okay. Yep, okay. No problem.
Almost had that one. That one was close. So we might want Radiant's Judgment back in.
I like Tangle. Do we want
Yeah, I
to
don't
just
want
cut
Tangle.
do we want to just cut the Halo now?
Yes. Let's cut Halo.
Because I agree, like these are good. The upside's worth it. But
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think we want Shelter. It's just 2 mana inefficient. I'd go with this.
you go with this?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's see what they do. Yeah, last time Counterspell was printed, it was 7th edition, making it not legal. No counterspells in Modern. So Force of Will was the card that you wanted. Was it you that wanted that back in the format?
I said I thought it would be really interesting having it back in the format. Yeah, I think it would be fine.
So I guess we keep this hand too.
Yep, definitely.
Trooper again on the lead.
Yeah, certainly.
Still trooper. Yeah, brainstorm. You got it. What do you play in Modern? Are you a pod player? Twin player?
Storm.
Oh,
Storm.
right. That stupid question, sorry.
I like to play decks that win.
Yep. Ooh.
But don't win too much. That's an interesting draw. I think just fire off the Harrier, probably. Just play our most expensive thing every turn. Yay, it resolved.
Wow, that Elephant Guide, if we get to stick that in any sort of reasonable capacity for... that's going to be really good. Now, the question is, do we dick around with this Nomad, or do we just get to town on the Trooper?
It really depends on what he's doing. He's cycling Keenhaven here, yeah. So he's short on lands, which is nice. I don't want to just play Elephant Guide into like a rescind. Oh god, we're just gonna keep punching this guy. Just play both our guys here.
Okay.
We want Elephant Guide to be the last thing we play on a turn where he's tapped out. Okay, we'll upgrade. Play both of our 2-power guys.
Okay.
And then we'll play Elephant Guide as the final thing on a turn where he's tapped out on an evasive guide to basically just a lightning bolt him.
Done.
That way we don't get rescinded or repelled for like a big tempo loss.
Sure. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we keeping you up in California? I'm just teasing.
Man, I had a long weekend.
I know you did, but I know.
Oh, I haven't had dinner yet. I'm starving.
He got the mongrel. Still got his blues up. Jerk bag.
But that's everything counterspell, not bounce spell, so Elephant Guide's still pretty sweet here. I might just guide up the mongrel and attack with everything. Again, in this spot here, all we want to do is we just want to get through maximum damage. So actually, hold on. So let's undo. Do we want?
Because like we could do both. Like we could just attack. Oh, I don't want to play this plains actually because we might be able to.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out which spell do we want to have resolved. Do we want the mongrel to resolve, or do we want the trapper, the guide, or the trapper to resolve? I think we want trapper to resolve. So play guide on mongrel. Now he has to counter this. He can't just take. Oh, okay. Well, he probably doesn't have a counter spell then. Attack with everybody.
Wow.
He's just taking 1,000,000.
Now, your thought on suiting up mongrel there and not like the shadow guy, for example?
I want to be able to attack with it. Right, so this way we can do the extra 2 damage to the base power of the mongrel. And then when he plays a bounce spell, he has to bounce our mongrel, not our evasive guy.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to do extra 4 damage over the next 2 turns.
So you're like ensuring that this guy keeps getting in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can do 2 extra damage this turn too. So it's going to be plus 4 damage in the case where he has repel.
So he's discarding a land.
You have to stay alive. So click OK there, that's fine. Lose a counter, he goes to 5, then I just play Trapper. And now he's just dead, right? Even if he repels or bounces our mongrel, we're just going to kill with our flyer and our shadow guy.
That's it.
Yeah, so sequencing that way, it maximized it constrained his mana the most.
Okay.
So we bottlenecked him, and he just couldn't keep up.
We had a really smooth draw there, too, by the way.
That was a perfect draw. Yeah, we played every card in our hand by turn 5, which is
what we want to be doing. Okay. All right. Minute and a half to next round, which is pretty sweet. Is there any way we can look at our deck?
I don't think so.
Limited? Yes, there is. There it is right there. That's our deck. Yep. So Game 3 was long. Alright. Let's 3-0 this draft, Tom.
That's the plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is... Oh god, these are so gross.
Yeah, that card's just absurd.
So gross.
Just open a lot of those.
Yeah, that's the answer, eh? Just keep opening Battle Screeches and play them all. The Shadow guys are also very good.
Yes.
Like, is there...
This is like a perfect version of this archetype. It's just showing kind of... I mean, this deck's like a 9 out of 10, probably.
Hey! Works.
And it has no rares in it either, which is nice.
It has which?
It's like not built around rares. It's built around commons and uncommons.
Yeah, yeah.
And not a single... Oh, this is Karma Guy, but Karma is like not even that important for the deck.
No. But like the Mongrel's good. Karma Guy's good. This is a rare too? Yeah.
That's true. Again, 2 cards that are, you know... I'm not even 100% certain Strip Mine's better than like Uplands in this deck, so... I mean, it is, but... thank you, Trollproof. Appreciate it. Had a lot of fun this weekend.
So this is one of our slower draws. We are on the draw.
I think we keep this in the draw. We have so many 2-drops and 1-drops. We have like 10, I think. Half our deck.
Yes. Yes.
Actually, it's 11.
11.
So literally a third of our deck we can cast by turn 2, so that this is a favor to draw one.
There's one right there.
There we go.
Sounds
then we
good
can
to
curve
me.
out. Yeah, I mean we curve out 2, 3, 4 with this Judgment as a as insurance against like Goblin Goon or Click Slither Pumping or something.
Sure.
I predict if we cast the Judgment, it's going to be after we bait hit. Oh, never mind. He might be on slide. I withdraw my prediction. I predict now we will. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to play a Phantom Event here and start beating this guy down.
Yep. So he got the slide deck, perhaps, you think?
Seems like it. I mean, there aren't a lot of white-red decks that play Secluded Steppe and Savannah. Here comes the Rift. Oh, okay. Never mind. He's also on an aggressive deck. Smashy, smashy.
Just bash?
Yeah. Bash, drop our 3.
I mean, he blocks it, right?
No, definitely not, because our guy doesn't die, he just loses a counter. So it's like really bad for him to block there.
Alright. So what do you want to do here?
Just play our Harrier.
Play our Harrier?
Just keep it playing. Yeah, basically every turn we're going to play our most expensive creature until we have a reason to do something else.
Okay.
So there's a chance next turn we might put like Halo on our Harrier and play Trapper. But that just depends on what he does with his turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. So this doesn't work on defense. It's only on offense. Right, okay.
Yep.
That's why I was asking.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be great if it could also just fog an attacker.
Ooh. Well, I guess we just found a target for our Radiance Judgment.
Yeah, that's great for us.
So we're not blocking here. We're just going
No, definitely not.
to each a 6.
Yep. It's fine. Like we hit him back before, and we're gonna be up a card, and we have 2 creatures on board to his 0, so we're like up a lot in tempo too.
Now,
just Judgment.
we only ever need the 1 green mana, so I'm intentionally just holding the forest because there's no sense of giving him the extra information.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so we'll just attack for 2.
For 4, I mean.
That's what I meant. With the 2 creatures, yeah.
With the 2, yeah.
Yep.
And there's no way for him to blow us out here with this Judgment, so just cast it now. If you let him untap, you could have Shelter.
Sure.
But the only way to save it for 1 is Benevolent Bodyguard, which you'd have to have already cast, so. I do not like his chances this game.
No.
Our hand's still good. We're so far ahead now in tempo. Oh, okay, that gets the other one back. That's minorly annoying. But now we're going to deploy the Halo, most likely. Ooh, or Kareem Abdul-Jabari. Huh. I think I like Halo Rat Trapper here. Just Halo the Harrier.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I was thinking the same thing, right? Like, Jabari's fine, but I mean, at this point in time, we really need to capitalize on the tempo that we've created and break serve.
Yep.
And I think that Trapper sets us up long game. Halo on the Harrier lets us win the heads up battle. So.
And then next turn we can tap something with Trapper and still cast Jabari, and then we'll be able to tap 2 things per turn. He'll never be able to defend himself after that.
Yeah.
So the question here is, do we attack with the Phantom Nomad or not? And I think we do.
Well, yeah.
But don't play your other guy yet. Yeah, attack first. It's not a definite because since we're able to tap his guys down, having a 2-power creature in play is actually quite good. And since the Miss Meadow Griffin is just going to trade and bring back the Guskull Carrot, he basically is just for free -1/-1 our Phantom Nomad. That's what I was thinking about, maybe not attacking here.
Sure. But the tapping and then untapping mana, classic. Or is that too many levels higher than our opponent, you think?
I suspect that's on a whole different level than where he is.
All right. Trapper.
Yeah, hopefully don't get chain lightninged.
There used to be a good reason to splash red.
He probably just has the Caravex torch that we passed. He might even be torching our Harrier here. Ooh, that guard. Sure, that guy's fine.
Nice. Okay, so that's neat.
Yeah, so there's not blocking here.
No.
5. So he hits us for 7. Puts us to 7. We hit him back for 4.
We're going to leave this up next turn, right?
No, I don't think so. Just want to hit him for the maximum and then just play Jabari with Tapper up. I guess there's the risk there is if he does have Torch plus Burn spell, he actually kills us. I don't think that's something I want to play around in the spot. I think I just want to hit him for 4, put him to 7, play Jabari, and then we have 4, 5, 7 power on the table with 2 tappers, so he's actually just dead, unless he has multiple creatures. I guess he only needs 1 creature to stay alive, but he's able to attack the Trapper.
Okay, so now we will 1, 2, 3, 4. Jabari.
I can speak. I would play the land here.
Okay.
That I actually would have lifted the green mana just since we're playing the land, just to expand what he might need to play around.
Sure.
Like, he needs to be afraid of Tangle or whatever else, but not a big deal.
Okay. So we've got this. I want to. Is that stopping
Make
on his
sure-
turn? Yes,
Yep.
it is. Okay, good. All right.
And here's to tap the Hellion in combat. Take 2. Hope he doesn't have 5 points of burn. Again, I think the most likely scenario when he wins this game is okay. He's not doing that. Good. Okay, so there's no Caravex Torch coming to our face.
Yay. Not this turn.
Hope there's no Shelter either. Shelter would also kill us, but
We have to win the game too.
1 second.
That sounds like dinner, folks. Yeah, so we're in the finals game 1. He did have the land, so we obviously didn't have the torch. That Armadillo Cloak is insane for us, actually. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have to attack him as well. So this way, if he's got some sort of trick, 2, 3. We have 3 mana up. So, like, I don't. He wouldn't have made that attack if he wasn't dead. If he was dead, I don't think. I think he would have tried to fight through and not die. So I'm pretty sure.
Oh wow, that's a good draw.
Yeah, it was a good draw. But he swung with the Harrier, putting us to 5, which leads me to believe that like he wouldn't have made that attack if he didn't have a trick in hand, right? He's got 3 cards in hand. He left up a green and a red. So
the green, he's not playing green. The green, the Savannah is just in his deck, so we can get it with Mountain Valley. He's just red white.
okay.
So
does the cloak go on the Nomad to play around Judgment? Like, is Judgment the card that we need to play around? I mean, Chain Lightning's a sorcery, right?
What if we just attack with everyone? He has the cards he could have here are either Judgment or Solar Blast. It's Solar Blast, right? He has to have Solar Blast.
We did see it. So that's what, 3 damage?
And also, like, if he leaves up Judgment here, he just dies when we attack him, right? He doesn't know we have an enchantment. So I would actually just cloak up the.
But Kindle is another option that he could have too.
Yeah, either of those we kill him, right? If he's on a burn spell, he's dead. Yeah, I would just put Cloak on the Harrier.
Yeah?
Because if he has Kindle, he can Kindle any of the other ones in response. So he has to be the Harrier.
Okay.
He can also Solar Blast any of the other ones in response. So to play around a burn spell, you have to put it on the Harrier.
Okay.
I'd rather lose the Judgment than lose the burn. Like, Judgment doesn't make sense here.
Sure. He wouldn't have made that attack if it were Judgment.
The only way he has Judgment here is if he has both. And if he has both, then it didn't matter which one he put the Cloak on.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. So now we don't have to attack with the Tapper.
We do.
We do still, huh?
So, actually, let's think about this. So say he has Kindle. He's going to Kindle or Jabari, right? So to be lethal, we have to attack with everyone. But maybe we don't care about being lethal as long as we gain the 5 life, so we actually hold back the Tapper.
Right.
And we don't worry about killing this turn.
And that's what I was thinking. Because like
I'm fine with that.
we gain the life, right? So we leave him back, we'll attack with these, we'll leave the Tapper back.
So yeah, just send the other 3. I like that. Oh, gigantic box. Why do you exist?
They're short term. Yeah, he's got something. He did have Judgment. That's fucking hilarious.
That's kind of gross. So should we just attack with everyone who would have won? It's fine. I mean, we're still hitting him for 3, put him to 4, and we're still going to tap this guy and kill him next turn. So
we can actually put Halo back on this guy too.
Yes, I would do that.
That was gross. I can't believe he hit that card.
Yeah, it's awkward. There's attack that everyone would have won.
I mean, unless you're right and he has both.
But I mean, if he has both, then we're dead. But hopefully, he doesn't have both. If he has both, though, we actually still been okay because he would have burnt out one of our guys. We would have just played Miss Meadow Griffin post combat, and it could have chumped the Hellion and brought back the guy he kills. So attack with everyone. One if he had would still have won if he had both.
Oh no, Marcel has a good point there. That's true.
No, Marcel, until he doesn't have, if he has even one more guy, it's fine. He would just play his other guy because if we have to use the Trapper to tap down a creature, we only had 6 power on the board. We weren't actually lethal. So if he has it tells us that he either had no creatures or had a burn spell. But if he had even a single creature, he would have just played it and held his guy back. He's thinking. This is a very good sign. We're not just dead. We probably should have upkeep tapped the Hellion, though, just so he couldn't draw shelter. So given how this game played out, I actually do think probably trading the Nomad for his Griffin was probably a mistake.
Sure. Because
Gustcloak or Griffin would have played out the same way, but we just have a larger creature to play. And we basically saw this coming because we had so many tap effects. We knew that there wouldn't be any trading going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I have no idea what he's in the take on. He's either got it or he doesn't, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't know. That awkward wait for your activated ability to resolve.
Ooh, actually, maybe doing it in here. So if he'd done it in his upkeep, we would have died to Breath of Life. Because he could have killed his own Flowstone Hellion and then Breath of Life it back.
Ooh.
Maybe doing it in combat is actually better.
Ooh, yeah. Playing around more cards. Well, I mean, just playing around different cards,
Well,
I guess.
it's playing around Shelter versus playing around Breath of Life.
Yeah.
But I think Breath of Life is much more playable.
It's a much more reasonable main deck card, I think. Anyway. Yeah, people think that aggro is easy. White Weenie is like combat math is brutal. Was absolutely one of the weakest points of my limited games was the actual act of drafting and then combat math. Our opponent has disconnected. Does that mean we might have disconnected?
Well, that explains.
What?
That explains why he's taking so long. No, I think it just means he's disconnected. Try and chat you, but
Yeah,
there we go. I see.
Yeah,
yep.
You got it? Okay. Yeah, okay. Alright. Well, that's good.
Thanks, Adam. Glad you are finding it useful.
So, this is why I love doing this stream, by the way. And this is why I love doing it this way and having, like, amazing players like yourself on. Because there are so few times, like, if you're playing and it's just you streaming, 99% of the time you're not discussing your lines in this much depth. Like,
yep.
Right? Like, you're just like, yeah, I understand that this is right, so this is what we're doing, and okay. But
yeah, it's sometimes it's really hard to properly articulate why something is like right. So even just in this game, right, that Nomad play, like, I thought it might be wrong, but I didn't articulate it very clearly or why, and I actually didn't even think it through. Just some part of me like felt like it was wrong, and then as the game plays out, it's like, oh, okay, right, because the creatures. It's still even hard to explain now, right? It's like, oh well, because we have these tap effects, we don't care about his like flyer being able to get something back later. It's never going to come up. But It's like hard to explain that without being able to see it. But that's really useful in this game because now we've watched it happen. It's like, oh wow, yeah, we wish our Nomad had one more power because he'd probably be dead if it did.
Yeah. Can we get Tom and Terry on your dinner?
And my dinner's very unexciting, so no, not gonna. Having some string beans and some chicken. It's great. It is actually great because I'm starving, but I'm gonna be right back. Refill.
Our opponent disconnected again. basically, streams and stuff like this is actually no different than having somebody like sitting next to me playing Moto. You know, and that sort of stuff happens all the time. Like, would I ever sort of bring this on to do a Mox or a Pro Tour or something like that? Then absolutely not. But all right, so he's reconnected, and he's attacking us for 2, which we
so hopefully he doesn't have Solar Blast.
About, and hopefully he doesn't have Solar Blast, and we don't die. Still thinking.
I actually really like this line, and it's definitely like the not attacking with the trapper that you came up with. That was clearly correct. It gives us a really balanced range against his holdings.
Yeah.
If he had either just Solar Blast or just Judgment, we're a huge favorite to win. But when he has, it is worse against both than just sending everyone. But I think I'm fine losing to both, and that's fine. And clearly, I think he doesn't have it. Ooh, okay. So we still have lethal with this play. You probably want to do that on our turn.
Okay.
I think we attack with everyone. We don't overthink this one again.
I think you're probably right.
Team. Face.
Yep.
Team, meet, face.
And then if we don't die, then we will play Griffin.
Exactly. Might have a Spark Spray.
I mean, he's got something.
He had the Kindle, okay? That's fine.
So he's still not dead. This is so gross.
Well, it's fine. We have our Space Griffin. There's maybe some argument for holding back the 1/1 token there. But then he just Kindles the 1/1 token, so actually it doesn't matter.
Yowza.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no
Yeah,
whammy.
I know. Like, we're fading so many cards. Oh, man. Like, hopefully, finally, just floats an Air Biscuit. Like, we've drawn lands 3 turns in a row. We've not drawn a card since Armadillo Cloak. That was many turns ago.
Yeah, but I think we're going to win this game. I have a good feeling.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's this deep in the tank. He's either disconnected again, which would similarly result in our winning this game, but, or he just doesn't have it.
My guess is he does not have it, but there's this thing about Griffin, though. Griffin's so sick here because even if he has a removal spell, it's going to get back another blocker. Granted, most removal spells at this point just kill us by going to our face, but...
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, that one's not going to save him. And we have lethal flying damage here, which we will attack with. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, we will trap her back if he attacks with the Hellion, so...
We don't... Oh.
He's kind of in the hard lock here.
Alright, so he's doing nothing.
Yeah, just attack Letter Flyers and kill him. He's dead. I have yet to find a bucket. I need to do that tomorrow.
Yep.
So do I have 24 hours to actually pour water on myself,
Yes.
or just to say I will pour water on
No,
myself?
you have 24 hours to pour water on yourself.
Man.
Yeah, I know, and I hit you at like 4:30 in the afternoon too. The alternative is you pay $100 to ALS, which like for you is like fuck all. But we like I nominated you because of your reach, and I figured that you'd be a good candidate to hit up all of your other high-ranking friends.
Yeah, I'll pay the money either way.
Yeah.
But I also am going to do the bucket, but that might have to slip until slightly later than 4:30 tomorrow. But it will get done by the end of day tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah, and you have to film it, obviously. That's the other thing. That said, I mean, so long as you do it at some time in the sunny afternoon, God knows how long it takes YouTube to post these things.
All right, buddy. Time to die.
Quit prolonging the inevitable.
Anytime now.
All right. Oops, want that. All right. Do you want Tango for this matchup?
Yes, definitely. Anytime you're racing, it's great.
Sure. We knew he had that ridiculous thing, so we
Leave that in.
Leave that in.
Maybe just cut a. I don't know.
He's got a lot of removal. Little dingly removal.
Maybe just cut Brilliant Halo. Actually, it's not like super exciting.
No, I agree. This is gonna do like way more for us, I think, in this match.
Yeah. I see about cutting one of the Deathblade elites, but if I cut an elite, I definitely want to cut the Halo too.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. I think I'd submit this.
You'd submit this as it is?
Yeah. Yep. I like this.
Elite, Trooper, Trapper, Nomad, like, this is pretty good, yep. Key? I think this Elite's going to do some serious work for us this game. That's what I think. I mean, there's a distinct possibility at this rate that our opponent times out.
I agree.
Deft Blade Elite. Pass.
So, Marcel, I think the problem with Shelter, even against removal spells, is we're going to be tapped out so often that he's going to kill your guy and then you're going to untap and have a stupid Shelter in your hand instead of another creature. So I'd rather just have another guy to play. It's like a much more likely use case.
Trooper, swing.
Yeah, swing Shadow guy.
All right, Plains.
Yeah, where are you heading? I would have tapped a little differently.
I agree.
Oh.
Oh, that's a thing.
Okie dokie. That's fine. I would just trade it with the Deathblade Elite, probably.
I can't?
You will be able to next turn.
Oh.
When you attack, you just provoke it and it trades.
Oh, sure.
I would just play a Nomad. Just make sure you click yes, and then don't forget to play the Force after combat.
I played the guy already. Yeah, so that's good. I got the provoke on. Reckless charge with flashback. It's a pretty good card. What set was that originally from?
Odyssey, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, I missed my land drop.
I knew you were going to. I even said it. Yeah, it's from Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah, missing that land drop though is actually completely irrelevant. Well, now it's especially irrelevant. Oh, well, that's annoying. Just in the Shadow guy.
Yeah. Yeah, remember
And
last time?
yeah, we learned our lesson.
We learned our lesson last time.
Well, here at least it downgrades the Griffin into a non-flyer, so there's some relevance.
Yeah, but then it puts it in front of our clock. You want another Nomad or a Trapper here?
I like Nomad here. Just maximum power. The next turn we'll attack with we will attack into his guy.
Okay.
Can also potentially just cycle Radiance Judgment and try to spike a land, but I like holding it here as a defensive mechanism against either Reckless Charge flashback at some point.
Nice.
Or him casting Imperial Armor.
Yeah, we kind of need another white land pretty badly here.
I would just ask on Twitter if I'm playing Moto with Jonah Hill right now.
It's true. I get that so often. It's disgusting. Happens a lot. You should actually say yes. Maybe it'll boost our streamership. Ugh, this is so hideous. I don't know. What are you thinking here? Like, I mean, we could Trapper, but
I'm inclined to attack with everyone and play Trapper.
Yeah. Because then that trades into the Emissary.
He still takes 4, goes to 11, and he's not going to hold the Emissary back. It's going to attack.
Then Trapper puts him into an awkward situation. We still have Radiance and Trapper or whatever if we want to do that next turn.
Yep.
Yeah, so...
And I like cycling the Judgment much more when we get to use Trapper to use all of our mana.
Concur.
So next turn we'll have that option.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, goodness.
All right.
So we're at 13. He gets that back. We take... Yeah, still not a pile, so...
I mean, we're still fine here.
Our army of tutus.
I mean, gotta work with what you got.
Yeah, man. The Aryan Bear Nation.
So we've seen Kindle and Judgment.
There's the
armor. Lock and load.
Gives it shadow.
Playing armor into the Trapper too is a little. It's nice. It's a nice play. We're gonna kill it. Hit him for 6. We're taking. Hopefully, draw planes. So we can leave up Trappers. We don't die to a second copy of Imperial Armor.
You mean like that? All right, so I'll just bash.
Hold on, let me just do. My chair's falling over. 1 second. I'm doing math. So we can hit him for 5. He goes to 6. We hit him for 6. He goes to 5.
Are you thinking a swing with the Trapper this turn?
Yeah, I'm just debating. I would hold it back though.
Yeah.
Swing the 3 and
Yeah, I
then
think so.
Judgment the dude and tap the dude and kill the dude.
So we'll Judgment on this turn.
Yep. Yeah, definitely let him untap and get his shelter up.
Cast you.
Wish we could play some Rolling Stones for right now.
4.
A shelter.
Ah, that one. All right, so close.
And now his Reckless Charge looks silly. Just getting blanked.
Yep.
And even if he like kindles our Vanilla Trapper here, we still get to tap his dude.
Yeah.
And then if we draw a land, we get to Karma Guide in another flyer.
Yeah.
Or sorry, Karma Guide another creature. So I don't see how he steals this game.
Wow, there it is.
We'll attack with everyone because it's lethal and see if he.
Yeah,
has anything.
Yeah, and then we can still, yeah.
He'll probably kindle a dude. That's fine. Then we'll just karma guide back the guy he kindles.
Yeah, okay. I'm okay with it. Is that
Right.
lethal?
He should have kindled probably in his turn.
Is this
Oh, I guess maybe not. Wait, yeah, you should have. I don't know. No, waiting's better. He's seen enchantments out of us, so waiting to kindle is definitely better for him.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's just deciding which one does he want to kindle. He should definitely be the shadow creature.
But foil Karmic God, I'm telling you. It's going to win this game for us. No, it's not. But it's going to be the last spell I play.
Yes. Maybe. Medium.
So we only have 6 power on the table. We have to send Trapper with us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because this got hit last turn. Afterlife, the shadow guy.
Sure.
I'm okay with
Even
it.
another blogger.
I'm okay with it. Go to 2? Yep.
Marcel, he doesn't have enough mana to do all that. He can't play Shadow Guy and Charge here. Plus, we're going to have a Shadow Guy of our own. We're getting back our Shadow creature from the graveyard. So we have Shadow covered.
Go. So good.
This is... Did we lose a game?
Yes.
We lost the Roar of the Worm game, right?
We lost the worm game, yeah. Yes, we lost the worm game. We won the rest of our games. This is one of the closer ones, though.
Oh yeah, this guy's deck was good. And you see in the finals, you were seeing 2 white aggro decks.
Yeah.
One of the better decks in the format.
Yeah. Yeah, like the white-red seems good. Like our mostly white deck, I think, is way better. I mean, we get the battle screeches, ultimately, is what it comes down to, right? Like, in the battle of the white decks.
Yep. I wish that for the community cup they let you guys all bring a second.
Seriously.
I could hold your pistols for you, polish your deck box.
Yeah, it'd be really, really exciting. I mean, like, to be fair, I have Paul and Tom there too, Ross.
True.
So and Frank. I mean, look, to
Frank,
be fair,
yeah.
like Frank's drafted like over 70 stupid vintage Masters drafts or something like that.
He's done a lot of them.
So, I mean, that's not terrible.
Raptor and I are reaching out to Day 9 to see if he wants to, because apparently he lives close to us, see if he wants some in-person prep time.
Holy shitballs, that'd be amazing. That would be amazing. Yeah, it would be like the real community, you know, like just coming together. Is he just gonna sit and time out? Is that really? It's 3 minutes left. Is this what we're doing?
I assume he's like disconnected or something again.
Yeah. You know what I really like is that it's really easy to just turn off the chat box, so I don't have to listen to people. I mean, I'll just, like, I guess I
Donut. No, Donut. Go ahead, let it go.
hilariously to let it go, because then it... Oh, no, we don't have one of those guys. No.
Just...
Jam?
Is it 2?
Yeah. Like,
Block shock.
do I just tap this guy and attack?
Yeah,
No?
I'm
No, I don't want to
I'm just
do
working. I think you do. I'm just working through the cards.
He's got 4 in hand. Right? Like, that's lethal.
Yeah, just tap it and attack.
We've got... like, we could play both of these guys post-combat.
Well, not only one now you tapped, but yeah.
Yeah.
The fact you just play it, I guess we'll hear after combat's fine. Just send everybody. There's no way he has 3 removal spells here. There's no way he even has 2, but... Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Oh, tap him out, wait.
Let's kindle for the shadow guy.
Allow it.
Yep. That's it.
There you go.
Yeah.
And we're ready.
Woo!
You're clearly prepared.
Wowza. Well, I'm gonna do another one next week. So now I gotta. Ugh.
And explore some other archetypes. So now, I mean, this was a great example of how you draft this this white deck. Open Battle Screech.
Oh, they don't let you keep the unhinged land, or that's too bad.
Yeah, the lands go away.
That's too bad. But yeah, this was yeah, the Battle Screech was really good. I was like really, really, really impressed with the power of these guys.
Yeah, that guy's great. He's really, really good.
Very, very good. And like even like you said, like this guy in the early games, like controlling combat and getting rid of the dumb little 2/1s was really, really good. Trapper pulled more than his weight. We almost had 3 of them. Wowza. Yep. Yeah, and they just aggressively swing. It was
The best. Force the key thing with this too is the last spot just sneaking in a damage or 2 here and there, and being very willing to race them. Don't worry about that because with all the tappers you're in, and also the enchantments, you can win races, and also Battle Screech making 4 blockers makes you really good at race situations.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, a lot of situations this guy was only okay. Even every time our opponents cast this against us, it was bad.
Yep. Yeah, that card is just not very good.
Yeah, this would have been brutal. Tango was good. Nice. Awesome. All right, well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's a Vintage Masters Draft. Number 1 of hopefully a few more this week. Tom, man, huge thanks.
No, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on. This was fun.
Yeah, man.
I'm so tomorrow night we're doing the first stream for the Vintage Super League, or whatever we're calling it.
I was gonna ask about that. So, like, do you have the 10th yet? Do you know who it is?
It'll be announced tomorrow night on stream at 7 p.m.
Okay.
So tune in. Randy and I are going to play a couple warm-up matches, do a little chatting about the league. So my week of Magic coverage continues, and then Wednesday I'm going to go into a cave. Actually, Wednesday I might do Magic TV.
Wow.
But Thursday, no Magic on Thursday.
Okay.
Need a day off, but then yeah. But tune in tomorrow for that. That should be fun. And then the league starts next Tuesday, so I have to figure out what deck I'm playing.
Jeez. So it's just like a round robin, if I understand correctly from what I've read, and you guys are all going to battle each other. Is there prizes? Is there stakes? Is there, other than pride and bragging rights?
Yeah, so there is the prize is going to be there's a complete set of Moto Power 9 being put up that will be drafted by the top, I think, 6 finishers, with the top 3 getting 2 picks each.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so first place is Lotus plus something.
Nice. Yeah, the 10th player is going to be announced tomorrow. That's really exciting.
Yeah, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. on Randy's channel, I believe.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure we'll tweet it out. You can follow me on Twitter at Tom Martell, or follow Randy at whatever Randy's at. Let me look.
I think it's our Bueller.
Our Bueller, yep. And we'll make sure to make that announcement when we're going live, and we'll chat about Vintage, chat about the league, and make that 10th player announcement. I actually play the actually I don't know if the schedule's been announced yet, but I'll give you a little preview. I'm playing the TBD in week 1, so I don't yet know who my opponent is for next Tuesday.
You don't even know?
No, they have not told even us, so that I couldn't accidentally blab it. Probably like I just blabbed the schedule, or at least that piece of schedule. But it's going to be me versus TBD on Tuesday, and we'll find out who that is.
That's awesome. Very, very awesome. Okay. Well, you guys can check that out, and we'll tune in next week, obviously, here at the same channel. We're going to run it back, and we'll do another VMA draft. I'll have to... Tom doesn't want to come back and join us. I'll find someone else to walk us through something else, and we'll figure it out. But,
yeah, I don't know my schedule next week yet, but you should get some other people, get their perspectives. But I'll do my best to at least tune in and heckle you from the chat.
I love it.
Awesome.
All right, guys, listen, thank you much for tuning in this week. We'll see you next week. Tune in tomorrow for the Arcane Laboratory with the Real Evil Genius. He's back from Gen Con, so he'll have all sorts of amazing stuff to tell you about the adventures that happened there. And he's got some obviously good news since he got engaged while he was there. Anyways, really good. So tune in, and we'll see you guys all next week. Thanks. Thanks, Tom.